All right, Candy, welcome back.
Hi.
I'm super excited to talk to you.
I'm
So
excited to talk to you too.
your blue matches your blue.
It does almost, right?
Yeah, the this is like perfectly matched.
hmm It's an accident. It's from About Face, the makeup line by Halsey.
Oh, okay.
This is one of the eyeshadows. It's a
Oh,
liquid eyeshadow. Yeah. I
cool.
got it on my lips too with some glitter.
Yeah. So, can you hear Mike in the background?
I can.
That's
Can you hear my neighbors partying?
no.
Okay, good. Mike's much better to listen to.
He said that we need to have a stuff and things where you and him and Timothy take your medicinals and I just sit back and watch.
Where is he?
he's
I'm ready.
he's in the other room. No, but he thinks that would be funny. I
That
think
would be
I
amazing.
think it would be funny too, and I just get to sit back and watch you guys talk.
I get all philosophical.
So
Like,
I like ginger ale. Can you see what the name of this?
I can't.
I'll just read it if I can read
Yeah.
it. Cock and bull.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really super gingery, so if I have a stomach ache, it really makes my tummy feel better.
I like your eyes. You're very Susie Sue tonight.
Thank you. Again, total
Like,
accident.
very
So
gorgeous.
my new thing is that I put, and I just discovered this sort of by accident last night. I put a ton of makeup on and I hated it.
hmm
So I'm like, I'm just gonna wash this off and whatever. And so I just kind of half-assed washed it, and I didn't like because I didn't wash this down here. Just kind of like did this, and then I'm like, oh, I like it kind of like that. So I tried it again today. I tried purposely fucking it up and then washing it off, and
Right?
it's definitely fucked up. But
It looks amazing from
I
here.
didn't wash it off as much as I did yesterday. I washed it off and then added some more.
See, I started out, this was originally just going to be the red.
Yeah.
The red's fun. And then I was like, that's boring. So then I put a line up here and I was like, that's not balanced.
Right.
And
Right.
here I
Right. Right.
am.
Right.
Now I look like a Rothko painting.
I like it.
I
I
like it
like it.
too. I like
Yeah,
it
it's
too. I think
fun.
it's a lot of fun. Like, oh, and I did eyeliner too because
Yeah.
I felt
Because
like you couldn't see my eyes, but you still can't see them.
I think that the great thing about not knowing what I'm doing or caring is that I can't really mess it up.
Yeah.
Like you know how when you like care, like your
hmm
eyeliner has to be perfect, and when you put your mascara on, if you get black on your eyelid, you're like, trying to wipe it off. The beauty of it doesn't matter is that it doesn't matter. So
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
I just take the brush and go like literally like this to my eyelashes, and it's like all over the place, and I'm like, eh.
You know what I dig is when you get, you specifically, whatever you do, and then you get like the little bits of fallout down here, and it's like glittery, and it's like a little perfect snowstorm. I love that so much.
It's
I can't make that happen.
well, I couldn't make it happen either. It just if I tried to, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But it's just fun, kind of like because I haven't worn really makeup for decades. Really, I used to wear it obviously when we played shows and stuff, and then so that was like the '90s, and haven't really worn it like since, except for just to throw on some like lipstick. Sometimes I would just literally just put on lipstick, like no foundation, no mascara, nothing. And then if I was really fancy,
hmm
put on some mascara and some lipstick.
Ooh.
So it's been sort of fun having an excuse to just like fuck around with makeup again. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I wore it a lot in high school, and then
I
I
get it.
stopped. I
Yeah.
did. I wore it a lot in high school, and then I was like, this is wrecking my skin. So I stopped wearing it. My skin got
Yeah.
a lot clearer. And then the formulas now,
They're so much better.
well, and the formulas that I can afford are better.
Yeah.
And that makes a
Yeah.
difference. Yeah.
I feel like they don't destroy your skin like they used to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And do you know, so we have our like perfume stuff that we're gonna launch soon
Yes, we'll
together,
talk
right?
about that too. Yeah, we'll
Okay,
talk
but
about all.
I'm wearing the violet oil on my lips because
Really?
I couldn't find my chapstick and everything on it in it is safe. And I was like, it doesn't taste great,
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say it probably doesn't taste good.
it looks all right. It's shiny.
Yeah, right on. I bought these cheap. I went to CVS like a couple weeks ago. I think might have been last week. And you know that brand Milani?
Hmm.
They're really good. They had some lip glosses on clearance, and I'm like, ooh, those are pretty reds, and I grabbed them. So
Nice.
I kind of like. I usually don't. I only like matte stuff, but I kind of am digging
I
this.
like
Like,
it. It looks really
it's
good.
real. Yeah, it is, and it's like comfortable to wear. I usually don't like like lip gloss and shiny stuff because
It's too
gets
sticky.
it gets in your hair and like streaks across your face and
Hmm.
whatever, but this is nice, and it like stays on for like a really long time, and it was like $3 or something ridiculous, so highly
Nice.
recommended.
Nice. So do you want to talk about how our baby came into being, how we ended up having
Yes,
a
I'm
child
so
together?
excited. I have them back here too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Yes. So, you know the spray that you sent me, the smudge spray or whatever? I'm almost gone with it already. That's how much I wear
The
that.
big one or the
Not
medium
not
one?
the not the giant one.
The medium one.
Yeah, that smells so good to me, and like I spray it like 4 or 5 times a day. It's so good. So
Aw.
so I've only got like this much left or something. But I took my old bottle that you had sent me that had like this much left in it and
Hmm.
combined them. So I got more. But
Nice. It's,
yes, so
those
good.
ones I mix because it's like, let's make Tara feel good, and those are Tara feel good
They
sprays, and
make me so happy.
I mix them differently for everyone, and I mix it different, like it's slightly different for you every time,
Yeah,
because it's like you need something different every
I
time you order
love
it, like
it. I just
spiritually
love
or
those
whatever.
because they're super refreshing too. Like, I don't know. Obviously I love oils, but like those are light, so it's
Mhm.
not as heavy, I guess. So you can just kind of keep spraying it all day long. But I'm obsessed. They smell so freaking good.
Thank you.
Ugh,
Well, and it's hot there, so if you
it's very hot.
put them in the fridge and then spray them on you.
Oh yeah.
It changes your life. I learned that in
Yes.
Florida.
I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, I love it so, and I love the little crystals in there. I
Mhm.
like hearing them jingle.
Yeah, that makes me happy hearing them like,
Yeah,
oh,
like little bells. I love
tinkle
them.
tinkle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Let's talk about them. So how do you want to start talking about them?
well, I guess we should maybe reveal how we came up with the idea.
Sure.
Um, so that's really you,
Yeah. Well, I guess I can't talk about the why
right? But
yet.
we spoke about, at one point you were like, you know what? I wonder what Violet would smell like, and so we started talking about
Yeah.
what would Violet smell like.
Yeah. Because
Violet being the main character in her book Violet and the whole series of
yeah.
Violet books.
So I am a huge collector of oils. I have a million of them back here.
Hmm.
And so I'm obsessed with that. And so, like you said, writing these books and stuff and like thinking about the characters and what they would smell like and what mix like what would you mix together to get a vibe of them and stuff, and it was
Hmm.
just kind of this fun thing because I don't have that talent of doing that, um and then but you do, and so and my characters, I would
Right.
say pretty close to as much as I do at this point. I think
Yeah.
you have a pretty good grasp of them.
And that being, is it okay to say why?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because I help edit and
Yeah.
do like beta reading for
Yes.
them, so that's why I know them so well, because I
Yes.
try to figure
are
out like
a massive
continuity
help.
things and why do people do stuff that they do. And
Yeah, it's a massive help to me,
yeah.
especially considering I have like, like really do have imposter syndrome. It's not just like a cute catchphrase. I really do have it. So it's super helpful to me when you're like, no, this doesn't suck. I promise. I would tell you if it sucked.
I would not be brutal, but I would be honest.
Yeah, and I have a couple people like that in my life, thank God, because I get so insecure about the whole thing. And then sometimes I'm like, their world has gotten so crazy that sometimes I'm like, is this just outlandish at this point? Like,
Mhm.
so I need kind of somebody to go, no, it's cool, it works. Don't
Well,
don't
it does,
stress
because
out
of the
about it.
where you've gone with the story, it does all work and it's all interconnecting and it's starting to mesh up now.
Yeah,
Because if you read one series,
it's getting crazier.
but if you read, I know, I saw. If you read like your Black Owl series, there's like callbacks and Easter eggs for the Violet series, which then the Elia stories, am I saying her name right?
I call her Ilya, but
Okay.
it's up to
So
you.
the Ilya stories like mesh up with the Violet stories. It's just all so, I love it so
It
much.
gets so complicated though, because the current story that I'm writing has to mesh up with Blood Moon and those characters. So I'm like trying to think how I can cram the story that I want to tell with the current story and how it can fit time wise.
Well, that's my job.
It's really hard. It's so
I have
hard because there's a lot to do in a very short window of time. So it's been, I kind of avoid it sometimes because I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do this. So I just kind of
Well, when you
do
think
something
about
else
it
for a
though,
while.
yes, there's a lot to do, but people actually like can accomplish a lot in a day.
Yeah, but there's so many different people at this point telling their story at the exact same time. And then having to fit it time wise, it's really hard. But I mean, I'm excited about it because I have a lot of interesting and strange ideas about
Mhm.
what potentially is coming. But back to the oils before we get too far off topic. Yeah, so you and I like to have those conversations about what would they smell like and like what would they be a mix of, like their personalities and like where they're from and hints in the story about stuff. And it was super fun giving you ideas and then watching what you did with it because you added sense that I never would have thought to add in or that would go in. So that was
Mhm.
like super fun. And then getting to actually smell them
Mhm.
and
Well, yeah,
like
because I put scents in
so
there that
perfect.
go with like things that they do in the story, like
Mm-hmm.
how I put lilacs in with Roman because
Yeah.
it was a favorite flower of. See, you got to read the books to find out whose favorite flower it was, but it was
Yeah.
someone's favorite flower that was very important to him. And
Yeah. And
just
it's
like
just fun.
stories, because
And
we
like the
are.
go ahead.
Okay. Well, because everyone is a combination of all their experiences.
Right.
And so I tried to make the sense a combination of all those things too, that brought
Yeah.
them to the point where they are.
Right. And it makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
you know, even I'm super excited too about the idea that we had about doing like scene scents,
Yeah.
like the ox roast and like, whatever else we think of or whatever. It's so fun to me. I love it so much because I don't have the skill level, but you do.
Yeah, I
So
have a
it's
good
like,
job.
it's excited. Like, I'm a good idea person. I just can't accomplish the things that
You have
I.
the best ideas and you do really good like ideas for designs. Like Tara came up with our packaging.
I'm so excited to
It's
see
gonna be so cool, and we have business cards like big girls and
it. Yes, it's so exciting. Like, I'm super stoked. This sounds like so dumb. Sponsor me, Sticker Mule. But I'm
yeah.
so excited that I found them. And randomly, when we were doing Lycia stickers, I just Google search stickers or whatever, and they came up, and like they had a good deal at the time. So that company is so great, and they constantly are sending out deals that are insanely good.
Mm-hmm.
And
the quality is fantastic.
the quality is like so good, and their hot sauce is delicious. So that's also a bonus. But it's super, like, I can't believe I have stickers for like these awesome Lycia stickers and magnets and pins and like.
And then we have the business cards.
Yes.
Vistaprint, who could also sponsor.
They're also good. Yes.
And then the stickers, like our labels are through them. I did actually for my own personal project by myself, some magnets and some holographic stickers, which are
I love those.
So cool.
Yeah, I love the holographic stickers and the clear ones. Those ones are really cool too.
I like the magnets.
Everything. Yes, who doesn't need like 10 million magnets anyways?
And I like the idea that you can get like the labels or the stickers in a roll or just in a sheet.
Yeah.
However you need it.
Yeah. Because we got we have all of them, obviously. The ones
you think they're paying us.
I know. the one that the ones that are on the roll are really good to put on the packaging. And, because you can just hurry up and peel them off and stick them on like the outside of your envelopes and whatever. They're just so good. So it's super exciting to have, like you said, big girl cards and stickers and like legit.
Yeah, the business cards came yesterday and it just made it all real.
Have you got any keychains yet?
I have not.
Oh my God, they're so cool.
No, I got a keychain from you. I didn't purchase a keychain.
Yeah, well, whenever that deal comes around, get them because I think they're so cool. Because they send those deals all the time. They just rotate them. So when the keychain one comes up again.
Ooh, I could do like a fancy font with just the business name.
Sure.
Have it that would be cool.
You could do anything you wanted. They're so cool. Like I want to get the heart logo, my Violent Violet heart, with the Valentine kind of heart thing. Those would be cool on keychains.
I have a holographic Violent Violet heart on the back of my laptop.
Those are so cool. I know I ran out of space on my laptop. Timothy sent me all these stickers and I'm like, I don't have anywhere to stick stickers anymore.
I'm putting them on a metal filing cabinet I have.
Yeah, I don't have one.
I got lots of
space. I gotta figure it out. Because they're all such cool. So I've got them kind of tucked away right now because I don't want to lose track of them. And so at some point,
you want them to be where you can see them because I like to see them.
Yeah.
My friends are so cool, and I like to, I want them to be on something that's gonna stick around. I don't want to just stick them on.
Exactly. Like I don't want to put it on a notebook that's gonna get crammed someplace or recycled at one point or whatever. So.
And I don't want to put them in a photo album because then I can't see them.
Exactly.
I want them out where I can look at them and just smile.
That's why I like having them on my laptop because they're all just right there. But I don't have any more space. My Chromebook's little. I don't have any more space.
Yeah, my laptop's not huge, but the important ones are on it.
So, of the oils, which one's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
Oh gosh. You just asked me to pick a favorite child.
People ask me to pick a favorite album or a favorite song all the time, and I'm like, are you high? I can't.
I mean, each one of them is my favorite for a different reason. I know that sounds like a cop-out, but it's
true though.
The Violet one I like because it makes me feel grounded and confident and fierce, right? Mm-hmm. It makes me feel like I could take on anyone and anything and just freaking crush it. Yeah. And absolutely crush it, right? The Roman one makes me feel secure and safe and secure. Yeah. And I like that one because it's one of those clean scents.
It's very clean.
A man could wear it, but also a woman.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But I like the feeling of security almost it gives you. I don't know if you get that too, but
It's very, yeah, well, for
I
sure.
associate the smells with people that have protected me in the past.
Yeah, and it's very well. Plus, I mean, in my head, I picture he's hanging out with me.
Hmm.
So, what's gonna hurt you if he's hanging out with you?
Exactly. Like, what can come close to you if there's this
Right. And
gigantic man?
it's so clean smelling. So like whenever I picture like in the book when I describe Violet going to his house and his house is like meticulously clean and it
Mhm.
smells like cleaner and like fresh soap and shampoo. I get that from the oil, but of course also like he wears leather all the time, so you get that
Mhm.
too. Yeah. And then my Lori's interesting because most people hate her, understandably, but like
But
I know the girl that nobody knows yet, so she's very sweet and wounded, and so that the oil that you made for her is to me smells very sweet, like very floral and childlike, and that part of her that she doesn't let anybody know.
right, but also this is a very lush woman. Like,
Yeah,
lush as in beautiful,
right.
and you want to touch her. Like, you see her and you want to touch
Yeah,
her. But
sure.
do you want to touch her because you want to protect her, or do you want to touch her just because she's hot? Because it's both.
Right,
Like, to me,
right.
she just seems like a beautiful broken bird,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
that you want to put in the palm of your hand and take care of, but it's a friggin' raptor, and so you have to be careful or else it'll eat.
Yeah,
Like,
she might kill you.
yeah, she might eat your face, but protect her anyway. And
Yeah.
then I guess I have a special feeling for Lux too, because to me he just exudes sensuality and sexiness
Yeah.
and fire, and so I tried to put scents in there that are fiery and hot and very sexy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, how can I pick a favorite?
I know. They're all different.
Like,
And the good thing too though is that they're all different but they all complement each other so you can wear them all together.
they do. I tried to tie them all together because you and I know why, but they all start off with the same base notes. They all start out with lavender. Every single one of them started with lavender oil. And then I built them from there. We started with lavender, but there's also cinnamon in there, which you wouldn't think can go together.
Yeah.
Oh man, does it? One, you,
They
the
smell
cool thing
so
about
good.
blending oils is it's like a trial and error thing. There are some things you can put together and they just smell delicious,
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. And then there's other things like my least favorite oil is geranium oil
Hmm.
because to me it smells like urine.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and it's too strong. It's like really, really strong. But if you put like a drop of it in to something that's already got 100 drops of other oils, and that 100 could include the carrier oil,
Yeah.
it balances it somehow, and it doesn't have that strange it's an ammonia kind of smell. It's not really urine. It's just
Right.
because it's so super strong. It's like too much for me.
Yeah.
So it's
Now
but
I
then
need to
there's
go smell geranium oil.
but then there's other people who feel that way about ylang ylang oil.
And I love it.
I love it too. You either love it or hate it. It's kind of like
Yeah.
cilantro.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, people have that for patchouli too. You either hate that. I
Yeah, you
love
either
it.
love it or you think it smells like dirt.
Right, which is why I like it
And some
because
of
it
us
smells
like
like
the smell
dirt.
of dirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they all smell so good. It's funny that there are different perceptions because I get that for Lux also, but he's such a broken, sad person to me. Like he of all my characters is the saddest. Like he makes me so sad because I feel so sad that he's so unhappy all the time.
Well, you know what though? You're the boss. Make them happy.
I can't do what he won't tell me. I have to. I
Finish
mean,
the story. Give the
he
man some
makes
happiness.
he makes bad choices.
He does. So he's like me up until about 44 years old.
Yeah,
Just a series of bad decisions and
he
desperation.
knows his running. Yeah, I mean, he's got some happiness coming his way, but it's gonna be real dark soon.
Yeah.
For a lot of them, actually.
As compared to what? Like,
I
thinking back
know.
on Lux's backstory, like, that man has been through it. You're
Him and
meeting
his sister are so
they
tragic.
they are. Like, you think about when you meet my Lori, she's so spiteful and mean. But then what I've learned about her through reading her
Yeah.
story, I think I'd be spiteful and mean and just awful to people as well.
Yeah,
I
I
don't I
mean,
don't know that I wouldn't curl up in a ball and just give up.
I feel like the fact that they don't continue to destroy entire civilizations, considering.
It definitely shows growth.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
grown. They've grown up. They're not destroying civilizations anymore.
Yeah. But they smell delicious.
They do. They smell absolutely. And it was a labor of love. I had so much fun doing it. And
So when you do these, how many times do you have to scrap them and start over? Because I feel like I feel like to me it would feel like mixing a song where you keep picking at it and picking at it and picking at it, and then you get to the point where you're like, I can't even tell if this is good anymore, and then you have to walk away and then start over again. Like you get too meticulous about it, and you just can't think straight anymore. And
well,
so,
first,
how do you do it where you're like, okay, a drop of this, and then you're like, fuck, that don't work, and then you have to
well,
start over again.
a lot of it is time and patience, and I've spent the time learning what goes well together. But there's always those combinations that you don't think are going to work that just really do. And so sometimes I nail it the first shot. Other times I'll start it out and it'll smell good, but it's not enough and it's not quite what I was going for. I don't scrap it. I hold on to it because I always feel like, okay, it's not right just yet, but I can either use it for another experiment or I can
Mm.
keep working with it.
Mm.
And then sometimes I'll get it and I'll think it's right. And before I put anything out for other people to wear, I wear it myself for like a week
Yeah.
and see, because I like my oils to last for hours.
Yes.
Um, I don't want to walk in a room and have people smell it. And because I feel like if you walk in a room and people can just smell you, you are wearing too much.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't ever want to taste anyone else's perfume. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
I
I've been
do.
around people like that, and it's just like, so I want them to be subtle,
Hmm.
but I want them to be strong enough to last all day.
Yeah.
So finding that balance is also interesting, and
Yeah.
figuring out what carrier oil. At one point, I was using fractionated coconut oil,
Hmm.
which works wonderfully. But I've moved to jojoba oil
Hmm.
just because it has some different benefits for the skin.
Hmm.
Um, and I want to make oils you can put in your hair, and
Which
jojoba
I
is good
do.
for your hair.
Yeah, I do. I've
But I
been
want them
putting that violet oil in my hair.
Yeah, I spray it in my hair also, but I
Hmm.
want it to be specifically for your hair.
Right.
Um, and I want, like, I guess my process is really experimentation, and I'll sit and I'll write down, okay, so this is the feeling I'm going for, and what things make me feel like that. Like, say I want to feel like protection, right?
Hmm.
Because I do a lot of like witchcraft type oils too, right?
Yeah.
So say I want to build an oil for protection. The first thing I do is I sit down and I find out what herbs provide protection.
Hmm.
Of those herbs, then I figure out, well, which ones actually make essential oils, because not everything can be an essential oil.
Right.
Um, so what can I put in it that actually will provide energetically protection?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what then smells nice with that as far as like fragrance oils? So
Mm-hmm.
this is not an essential oil. This is like something that just smells nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then like how do they go together synergetically?
They both work.
How does the energy go together? How does it
Yeah.
mesh?
Right. Right.
Because there are certain things that denote protection that don't smell great, so you don't want to
Right.
use those, you know.
Right. Right.
But say I want to make something that helps you with astral projection, then I want to find something that's going to protect your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also something that's going to protect your spirit as it's free of your body,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to benefit you in the concentration it takes for that to happen. You know, it's just, I think about what I want to accomplish and then I go from there,
Okay.
basically. And with our babies, it started out with, well, what do they smell like,
Mm-hmm.
and how can I accomplish that, and what does Tara think they smell like? And we had those long conversations, and we talked about it for weeks before I ever even
Yeah.
put anything together, because I write all that down. I keep a big notebook, and then I let it simmer in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just start mixing. And like I said, sometimes I just get in this zone where I'm putting, like, I put in so many drops and write that down, and okay, well, that doesn't work once I've added this, so now I've got to add that. And so I write everything down so I can recreate it,
Mm.
and I get in there and it's just right.
I love the violet oil. Like I was, I know you're nervous. You were nervous about if it was gonna work for me, but
I
I
thought
like.
you were going to hate every single one of them.
Well, I didn't think that was gonna happen. But likewise, I'm like, what if it's really just not right? And then I have to be like, like
how do i how do I tell her it's not good?
yeah, I don't. I hate that. Like I don't like, especially when I respect everybody's creativity. So for me to tell somebody this isn't my thing really hurts me. I don't, that's why I don't like people asking me to listen to their music, because if I don't like it, then it may, and I won't lie.
Right.
So it just puts me in a really uncomfortable position. Anyway, so when you sent Violet, I was nervous because I'm like, what if her interpretation of Violet is not my interpretation? As soon as I smelled it, I was like, oh my God. Like it's so perfect. It's so her. It's so like clean smell. Like it's green. Like it's earthy and like, but in a like wood nymph kind of way. Like,
Mhm.
cause and of course there's scenes in the books where she kind of goes into these places.
Yeah.
And so that's like it's so perfect, like her in the meadow and her
Well,
in the woods and her, but also her hanging out at the club, and it's so perfect. And then Roman was the same. Like in my head I picture what he smells like, and he smells super clean, but
he smells like he just
again,
got out of the shower.
exactly, but also sweaty, but not BO sweat. That clean sweat
Like that
smell.
exercise sweat that, yeah.
That's clean. And then outdoorsy because he's out hunting things. And they're perfect. And then my Lori was so sweet. Like she's so sweet, and like I don't know. They just smelled real. And Lux, I love his oil too. And it's interesting because they do, like, especially Lux and my Lori, they smell like siblings. Like those two oils, they're very different, but you can say I can tell these two people are related. Like it's really interesting how that worked out. But
That's what I was going for. And then also, My Lori, like I said, I picture her as like a little broken thing that's also vicious.
Yeah.
But I also pick almost
Like
like,
a rabid fox.
or one of those flowers that smells really sweet because once you get in
Yeah.
it, you
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like not
Yeah.
a Venus flytrap, but one of the prettier flowers that has the same
Yeah.
kind of mechanism
Gives
for,
off these beautiful pheromones to attract bugs or whatever.
and then it eats them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
then Violet's a feisty little fairy sprite
Yeah.
thing, like Tinkerbell but scary.
But she'll kick your teeth down your throat.
Yeah, Tinkerbell but scary.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm so like you don't even understand how I've spent so many hours with these characters and like at this point it's they're real to me, like 100% real. I hear them in the back of my brain talking like, "Come on, we're sitting here waiting on you."
Right,
So
like it's time.
for you to give me a physical representation that I can slather myself in so that not only are they up here but like I can smell them. I didn't even think about that. I should totally, when I'm writing certain scenes, put their oil on and see if that does any kind of weird inspiration. Like next time I'm gonna write with
Doesn't hurt
Lux
to
or
try.
whatever. Yeah, well, and who cares anyways? Because it smells good. But
I mean, I was doing witchcraft when I made them, so you never know. I mean, look at me.
I've brought this up before, but I haven't walked outside in a long time because it's already hot here. But one of the last times I was walking the neighborhood and I thought, what would I do if Lux all of a sudden just appeared, jumped down out of the sky, and he's like, "Hey."
What would you do?
I don't know. I mean, first of all, I'd be a little freaked out, but I think what an interesting, like, when you think about creating characters,
I'm just thinking of it. He's
there's
like, "Hey, mom, what's up?"
like totally. I'm like, please don't call me mom. But
Yeah,
I don't want to know you like that.
yeah.
But no, it would be. I like to think about, because I like to think about dreams being real, like you're really going to these places and hanging out with people that you don't know in places that you've never been, la 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 la. So it's interesting to me also to think that what if these characters really are real and somehow I've tapped into them.
Well, that fits in with my alternate universes theory or
Right.
alternate timeline theory because who's to say that they aren't real somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, the thought of him just all of a sudden appearing and being like, hey, you conjured me, here I am.
Mm.
What would you do? Like, quit my
I mean, that
job.
would be hard for me because that would be really hard for me because I have
What
a
the
really
hell?
nice life and I'm really happy right now at this
Sure.
point. And I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm
Because
not going anywhere.
I have a really nice life. I have great friends. I have a good relationship. Like,
Mm-hmm.
things are coming together for me. And
Yeah.
if
First of all, I would be like, okay, Lux, you have a lot of money, so just go ahead and pay all my bills, and then I can quit my job and write stories, and we can go on vacations and stuff together. Don't kill me or nothing. Um,
don't kill me or nothing.
don't kill me. I don't think he would kill me, but yeah,
But if he killed you, would he cease to exist?
and well, not if I created him, then maybe, but
Well,
if I just tapped into his energy, then
well,
no.
here's the other thing, right? Have you ever heard of a tulpa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if he appeared, what if he was a tulpa because enough people believed in him? Or you believed in
Oh,
him hard enough for him to appear?
cute.
Because if you
Aw.
raise enough energy, you can, it's like the law of attraction or the law, when people are manifesting things for themselves, you
Yeah.
raise the energy, right? And you raise enough of it.
I
That's
guess
how you
careful
get
what
it.
you wish for.
Yeah. because somehow you get what you want. And that whether that's you raise the energy and you keep yourself motivated and you work toward it like a maniac, which is what I believe happens 9 times out of 10,
Hmm.
or you raise enough energy and you want it bad enough that somehow the universe conspires to give it to you.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, Timothy has this guest that brother Richard that comes on his show, and one of the things, and I've mentioned this in other stuff and things, he said that you can't imagine something that hasn't already been created, and that really was interesting to me to think about. So
No,
again, that's fascinating to me. Like maybe like in your dreams, like you're truly traveling to these places because they must exist if you're imagining them. You know what I mean?
except, but I don't know that I agree with that because we are by nature as artists creators.
But
And
maybe
we
we're
dream
tapping
things,
into things.
but isn't it also possible that we dream things into being and
Right. It can
they
go
only
like
exist,
right.
but they only exist because we thought of them?
Right. That's the interesting thing about that. But
It seems like a paradox. Like,
I think from his perspective, he was thinking that if we're capable of creating something, it's because the divine, God, whatever, has already
already
created
created.
this thing.
Well,
You
and
know what I mean?
then also there's the thing that humanity has been around long enough and there's been enough of us
Right.
that
That nothing's
somebody
new.
somewhere, yeah,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
only like 5 stories and they're all the hero's journey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all interesting, though. I like the idea that I personally choose to believe that when we dream, we really are somehow going into these alt dimensions, whatever you creating worlds, whatever you want to call it. And so the current stuff that I'm writing now deals a lot with that. Where is it a real place, or did you create it into being, and now it's a real place?
Right.
And so it's gonna get wacky and confusing, I think.
I don't
But
think that's wacky. I think that's actually a really interesting philosophical question.
I think it is. Like if you can, I don't know how vivid your dreams or even daydreams are, but like I can daydream things to where I can feel it. Like whenever I write,
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally just feeling like I can see this movie in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing my best to describe exactly what I'm seeing in my head
Mm-hmm.
and what they're feeling, thus I'm feeling. And so like that's the goal. I don't feel like I ever fully explain things properly, but that's the goal, is to, and it's the same way people make movies, I'm sure. Like you're trying to explain things in with words of what you're seeing in your head. So I keep burping, sorry.
No,
Damn
it's
ginger
hot.
ale. Yeah, real hot. But
Real
yeah,
hot.
so I don't know if everybody is that way. I know that there's those people that can't visualize things in their head, which blows my mind to me. Like I don't even, because I can sit here, zone out, and have an entire movie go on in my head
I have
and
a
feel
constant
it.
I have a constant running, either there's images or like an internal monologue. My head is never quiet.
Yes,
My
exactly.
brain is never quiet, and I
Yes.
can envision things to the point where I can see it, smell it, taste it, feel it, you know.
Same.
Um,
Yeah, like I feel like I've invented entire relationships in my brain. You know what I mean? Like you, and I don't mean that in a creepy way. Well, it's probably creepy, but like I mean, like with these characters and stuff, like they're very real. And I mean, I logically, I know they're not, but they're real enough to where, like, I literally feel if I don't write these guys for a while, I miss them. And like, it's like I get this feeling that they're just kind of pacing back and forth in my brain going, when are you going to talk to me again? When are you going to talk to me?
I have multiple friends that are authors that write fiction.
Yeah.
Every single one of you has said that exact same thing. Your
It's
characters are
weird.
alive in your brain
Yeah.
and they talk to you and they tell you their stories.
It's
And I find that
true.
so unbelievably interesting because when I have something like I'll get urges where I need to paint and I need to paint something, but I don't know what it's going to be. And I end up with sometimes something that's amazing. Sometimes I end up with the just shit, but uh, the feeling and the image has to come out.
Yeah.
Um,
So what is that? Is it like almost a form of mediumship, or are you conjuring things into being, or you know what I mean? It's really interesting to me.
yeah, I was gonna say it's magic. Like it's magical. It's creativity. It's
Yeah.
something that if you do it right is a gift to other people.
Yeah, like it's very, I mean, you
Because if
know
you
me,
do it right, you can make people feel what you were feeling when you did it.
that's always the goal. Like I want
Same.
you to see to read what I'm seeing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And with limited vocabulary and skill set, it's difficult, but like I want you to be able to visualize exactly what I'm seeing in my head, and like what they look like, what they feel like, what the trees look like, what the air smells like, what the river looks like flowing through the meadow, and what the fish look like swimming. I mean, I try really, really, really hard to show you what I'm seeing.
But let me stop you for just a second. Did you just say that you have a limited vocabulary?
I do. I
Did
don't
you?
have all the words.
No. Nobody has all the words.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like you can't have all the words. Like, I can't explain it well
But
enough.
you're I've told you this before. The way that you write is very engrossing and immersive
I
and
hope so.
you write your characters and they talk the way people would actually talk. Like Violet's a kid from a small town. She speaks like a kid from a small town. She's not like Juno or whatever, and she's like all intellectual and using 17 syllable words. And
That shit irritates me, I have to say.
that's annoying. Yes, she's precocious. She's very smart, but she's smart in her way, and she doesn't need to use $15 words to show you how smart she is.
Yeah. That kind
Um,
of stuff always turns me off, to be honest. Like, in fact, I'm
unless
not
it
going to. Go ahead.
unless it fits the character,
Right.
it
Exactly.
puts me off
Yeah.
and
In
it takes
fact,
me out of the story.
the whole reason I started writing, and I'm not going to tell anybody what book it is, but I was reading this book and I was just like, this is so not what I want this book to be. Like, the characters had all this potential, but they like let me down so bad because the author was trying way too fucking hard to look smart. And it was so off-putting to me that I'm like, I'm just gonna write books that I like with characters that I like. And that was like one of the huge catalysts to me even starting writing, because I was so off-put because I wanted to love this book so much. And the characters, like I said, they had all this potential, but they were so annoying because the author wanted to make sure everybody knew how cool they were with their music references and their, like, they didn't act like people act at
Right,
that
and your
age in
characters
that
do.
zine.
Your characters do, and
I hope so.
Well, they do, and they do things that people would do. Like when you write a fight scene, it's not just magically like the next day and it's all taken care of. Like you actually talk about people cleaning up the destruction and dealing with the aftermath. You know,
I
I can
hope
think of one
so.
scene in particular, where Violet's house gets kind of smashed up,
Mm-hmm.
and you have them cleaning it up, and they're worried
Yeah.
about the same things that people that age would be worried about.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and you don't write people as oblivious, like people in the neighborhood aren't oblivious to what's going on. Violet's
yeah.
worried about what the neighbors are going to think when she's going into certain places.
Right. Yeah. I I had a coworker read Violent Violet a long time ago. And her comment was to me, she goes to the bathroom a lot. I'm like, yeah, people go to the bathroom. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
that
think
was
it's
one of the things. That was one of the things actually that sold, like, because the way I ended up with Tara's stories is weird. Um, because
I love it.
I had been listening to Lycia for a long time. Um, and I've always been a huge fan, always. And I have another friend, Susie, who's been on your show,
Mm-hmm.
and you two know each other. And I broke up a dog. It wasn't a dog fight. There was a cat that got into my yard, a feral cat. And it's feral. I don't want it scratching my dogs or whatever. And
Right.
my dogs are idiots. They go over there and they're like, "Oh, look, hi, a cat. Ooh, are you our friend? Let's play." And the cat doesn't know that they're not
Right.
going to hurt it. So I go over and I'm like, "Stop," and they stopped, and I like push their faces away, and the cat, the ungrateful little thing, jumped up and like bit me and scratched my hands up,
Mm-hmm.
both of them. And I was like, "Okay, well, that's not nice." And I go in and I'm telling Bill, my brother, about it, and he's like, "That's a feral cat. You need to go and get rabies shots."
Oh,
So I ended up going to get rabies shots, but because of the cat bite, I got a blood infection.
yeah, they're dangerous.
And when I got the blood infection, Susie was like, "You have to rest and you need to do this and you need to do that." And she had people send me stories. And Tara was one of the very few people that actually sent me stories. Like there were like a handful of people, like
Mm-hmm.
five, that sent
Mm-hmm.
me their stories, but you sent me everything.
I did.
And I read it all and I was
I'm
like,
so desperate for friends.
"You remember?" No, but do you remember? Like one of the first things I said is like, "Okay, first, I'm really, really excited, and you have to excuse me for a minute." And I like went all stupid fangirl on you for a minute. "Oh my god, I love you. You're so amazing. I love your voice. You saved my
So
life."
weird.
Yeah, and it was so surreal to me that like you were
And that's
like
surreal to me.
I was like, "She look at this. She's like such a superstar and she pities me and
Oh
she's
my
doing something nice for
god.
me."
Pities you.
I felt like a make-a-wish kid.
My god. No, see,
Like I
for
was
me,
so
I'm just so desperate for people to read. Like, I get no feedback. So it was so like, oh, this girl's going to read my book. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like, that's how I felt about it.
and
I,
now it's
I
been
assume nobody, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I assume you don't know who I am. So I never assume anybody knows anything about who I am.
yeah, well Susie was like, "Yeah, so Tara's gonna send you some stuff." I was like, "Tara who?" She's like, "Tara Vanflower." I was like, "Wait, that that Tara?" And she was like, "Uh-huh." I was like, "No.
That's so weird.
Really?" It was
That's funny.
it
That's so
was so
funny.
bad. I was so excited. And so I'm in the hospital and I'm like, "Ooh," and I'm reading and I'm reading. And then Susie's like, and she wants feedback. I was like, "I
I
get to
do.
talk to her?"
I was so like you don't know. Like I have a couple people who give me real feedback and it's so important. Like
It's an honor to be able to do, really, because how often really does someone want to hear about something that they created and actually want constructive criticism?
Well, I do.
A lot
Um,
of people don't want
for
to hear.
people I trust. I don't want somebody like I don't like people who are just like offering up, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, they're giving you criticism, but it's not constructive.
Yeah, it's just like or it's like
I don't like
random
it.
stupid stuff. Yeah, like or just random stuff that's kind of arbitrary. Like but like real genuine like the person actually cares about it. That's a whole next level gift from God because especially for me where I'm like I don't have any confidence. So for you to and like a couple of my other friends to say this was really cool when this happened or on the flip side of that like well this doesn't make sense because you said she did this but she did that then so we need to rectify this like
Oh, that's how I ended up being your editor.
yeah because that
One of
shit's
them.
important
Yeah.
it's so hard to keep like it sounds so dumb but just things like eye color is hard to remember. Did
Mhm.
I make this person's eyes brown or blue? I can't remember. And then you got to sit there and hunt back through and like, so if you have somebody that's actually has the
Psycho and has
propensity
a
to,
timeline and PCR connecting everything
oh
together.
my God.
I have a
I've,
murder room dedicated to your books.
that's hilarious. I actually thought like at some point I should probably go and like write down everybody's name, age, like eye color and how they're related to whoever because the cast of characters is getting really large at this
We need,
point.
like, legit, we need to make you a spreadsheet for that.
I know. But I'm always like I have such limited time that I'm like, okay, do I want to spend this hour that I could do something fun and write or this like homework
Right.
project? You know what I mean? So I always end up doing the fun thing because life should be not miserable all the time.
Yeah. But see, to me, that is fun. I find
Yeah.
that so engrossing, and I am endlessly entertained by doing stuff like that. So,
Like there's certain characters' names I could always forget their names. Like I forget I always forget Roman's family's names. And that's awful. But I'm as bad with that in real life. So I cut myself some slack. I can't remember names for nothing. But
right.
I'm just like I created these people. You'd think I could remember their names.
Well, but then again, did you?
Right. Yeah, right. I'll just
And,
say, yeah, no,
yeah.
I didn't. But anyways, it's fun and it's fun having people that actually know the story that I can say, does this make sense for this part?
Mhm.
And you can say yes because XYZ or no because XYZ. So it's super helpful. So helpful.
Good.
Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. I love
I
doing it. It's wonderful for me.
you're
So
you're truly a gift to me and I mean that in like not just because you read my books but just in general in life because you know those people are few and far between that you can go I'm really having a bad day today and
mhm.
and this is why and then you're like okay well I'm sorry
Mhm.
and XYZ back and it
Yeah.
makes things better
Yeah.
so it's nice to it's interesting how people come into your life accidentally and then they're the important people that you needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is all still very surreal to me. Like,
Yeah. Well, it is to
that
me
we're doing
too.
this, and I feel
It
like
is
it's
to
gonna
me
be really
too.
good.
There's been so many times in my life where people are like, "Hey, let's collaborate on something." And I'm like, "Yes, this is going to be awesome." And then they just are gone. And I'm over here heartbroken again, reminded of being 8th grade me sitting in my house crying into a tub of ice cream because my friends blew me off again.
Yep.
And it's happened so many times um, where people are like, yeah, gung ho, like, let's do this thing together. And then they're just are gone. And so I'm always afraid, like, I never take anything for granted that this is really, really, really actually going to happen. So it's super exciting to me to see the wheels in motion, and we're getting closer and closer and closer, and like we're almost there.
We're like so close. I'm
I
just
know.
waiting literally for the labels for the bottles.
And we're only a couple of weeks away from telling the big fun thing.
Yes.
And we've already been sort of sneaking out hints here and
Yeah,
there.
we're doing a really big fun thing together.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
It's very exciting. It's
super exciting.
Such a big deal for me.
Me too. Oh my gosh. It's like it is by far the biggest thing that's happened to me on a personal creative level.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, the Lycia stuff's always, but that's like Lycia, so it's not me by myself.
Your own
That's a collective.
Project.
Yeah, this is the biggest personal project thing that I've had so far. Mm-hmm. So I'm super excited and nervous.
I'm terrified.
I know.
I actually literally feel like a deer in headlights. Like,
me too.
I wake up
so scared. I know. I'm so scared of letting people down, and like, or people are gonna be like, "Ugh, that's not what I thought.
It's not what I expected."
Yeah.
This is cool, but I'm always afraid of the but. Like, anytime someone gives me a compliment, I'm afraid of the but that comes after.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm always expecting it. And I have quite a few people, like I said, I have a very good life right now. And I have quite a few people in my life that give genuine compliments when they're due, but they don't give me fake compliments.
Exactly.
And even still, with the people that I trust, I'm still waiting for that. But
I know.
But I'm getting better.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, when you've had so many things in your life, kind of, people let you down.
Not the ideal.
Yeah, people let you down a lot, and so I try not to be one of those people. I'm sure I do sometimes. It's hard. I mean, I try really hard to not be that person, but like a lot of times projects will come up and I want to do them, but I can't, or like I'm doing them, but I'm taking too long doing them. Like that really stresses me out. Because I don't want anyone to think I'm like being wishy-washy or anything like that. Because I don't like it when people do that shit to me. Right. Like I have a project right now. A music project that I'm 100% gung-ho, so excited about it, ridiculously excited about it. I'll tell you later. I can't tell you on here.
Can't wait.
But it's a collab with somebody that I'm super stoked to collaborate with. Two people. And I've been dragged, like I keep not getting back to emails, and I'm like, I haven't even started working on my part yet. But it's not because I don't want to. It's just because all this stuff hit at the same time, like work stuff, all the stuff that we're doing, the book stuff. And then I've had some, like, I had to get the vaccine, and then, you know, so that whole thing. And then just all this stuff kind of hit at the same time. So I'm like, okay, well, once the thing that happens next happens, then I can chill out again and like have not so much.
Right. I got to get my part of that like done and done.
I'm almost done and done. All I have to do is one more thing and then get it shipped off, and then my part is done.
Yeah, I have to do 2 things and then get it shipped off.
But those are big things though.
They're fun things. It'll take me like 1 day.
Okay, so that's not so bad.
If I just sit down and friggin' do it. It's just a matter of I have like a squirrel brain lately where I can't just sit down and do one thing at a time. I've got to be working on like 6 projects at once. Or I
kind of live my life that way.
Like, I don't know how, like, I cannot focus unless I'm doing 6 different things at one time. And it's not like I'm doing them all at one time, but it's like I'll work on one thing for a little bit. Like I'm working on a portrait right now. And so I'll work on that for a little while, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm tired of doing this. Why don't I make some jewelry? And then I'll make jewelry for a little while. And then that gets boring after a couple hours, or like
Mm-hmm.
my hips start to hurt or my back
Yeah.
starts to hurt or whatever. And so then I moved to writing listings for my shop, or like I have so many listings I need to write. I have a good $10,000 worth of inventory in my house.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And I need to list it. And
That's exciting though.
yeah, and the reason I haven't done that yet is because I've got pop-up markets coming up that I'm going to go to in
And
Pennsylvania.
sell. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
even
yeah.
not even my own town. I'm going to Susie.
I wish I could go. That would be so much fun.
I mean, you can,
Well,
but you can't.
technically I can, but
Technically, legally, you're allowed.
realistically I can't.
Really.
I just told Mike,
But we're going to be doing
what
it
did
all
I do?
summer.
Yeah, I just told Mike earlier that now that I'm vaxxed up and everything, and it's like people are getting vaccinated and it's a little safer to kind of meander out. I definitely want to start doing those things. Like, I really, truly do want to do that thing where me, you, Susie, and Tim get a table someplace at some con, horror
That
con
would be
or
so
something
much fun.
con. Oh my God, it would be so fun.
And
We
that's what
would
Susie
we
and
would
I
be
are
off the
doing
charts.
is we're doing tables together
Yeah, that would be so
um,
fun.
at these pop-up markets. And I mean, we're doing it all summer long. It's once a month, and you could come, and it's twice a month in the fall,
Yeah, I
because
feel
she and
like
I are both
fall is more
vaccinated,
realistic. I think fall will be more realistic.
and you can stay in my hotel room.
Fun! How fun!
Yeah. I mean, I could stay at
Ah.
Susie's house, but like the
It's
hotels are.
haunted. Her house is
Susie's.
haunted.
I like her haunted house.
I don't like haunted stuff.
Her house though, it's haunted, yes, but her ghosts are nice. Like I like her ghosts.
I
They
would
like
be like this the whole time.
her ghosts and I like each other, and they don't bother you. Like although I did. Have I told the story? Have I told you the story about walking it into her downstairs and setting my keys on the bar, and the next thing I know, they're gone?
No.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
her bar ghost stole my keys.
Ew.
Yeah, but he's a nice little man, and once I was like, listen, I'm not gonna bother
Listen.
you. I'm not gonna bother you. You need to stop bothering me.
Ew.
Like, we need to just get along. It was like an acknowledgement, like, oh,
That's
well,
one
all
thing I
right.
like about our house. We're the only people that have ever lived here. Not that not that new houses can't be haunted or anything like that, but we're the only people, so far only our energy is in our house.
Mhm.
I don't know. As much as I like old stuff, I get nervous even about antiques because I'm like, that could have juju on it, like bad
I'm
juju. I
careful
don't
about
know.
that too.
Yeah. I'm creeped out by a lot of stuff. I feel like because I feel like, I mean, not to be hokey or whatever, but
Mm.
like I feel like I pick up energy in rooms really easily. And so if there's something there that's not supposed to be there, I get creeped out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Who's over there? Who are you talking to?
That's my brother. He's making me these
Oh.
3D. He's making me flower pots for my succulents on his 3D
Those
printer.
are
Aren't they
cool.
amazing?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, I'll show her that one. This one's really cool too. This is the one he just made me.
Oh my gosh.
Aren't they awesome?
Does he sell stuff too?
No, he just makes it for me. He should sell stuff because he's making
I'm
really cool stuff.
he really should sell those like on Etsy or something.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Yeah, they're really neat.
So 3D printers are kind of fascinating.
They are. You should see them work. Oh my
I
gosh.
I picture, like, did you watch the Westworld on HBO?
Hmm?
You know that opening sequence where you can see the machines building the.
Mhm.
That's what I picture.
It is kind of like that. So the machine,
I'm a
it's
nerd.
got like this, so it's a flat like table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got like a bridge over it, and then it's got this arm. And the arm like comes down and it has the filament, and this is made with
That's
filament, and
insane.
so then it does a little layer at a time, and it's like hot plastic almost. It almost looks like you're using a hot glue gun to make something.
Okay.
You ever done that? Like made something
Yeah.
out of hot glue?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like that, except for it's like way more like these are like sturdy,
Yeah.
and they're only thin.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That has to be expensive.
No.
No.
No, I bought the filament I think cost me $15, and so far we've made like I don't know, 5 or 6 of these, and we're not even halfway through it.
Oh, wow.
It all
That's
depends on what
cool.
you're it depends on what you're making and how solid it is, and
Sure.
but it's not as expensive as it used to be.
I know that Mike, where he works and stuff, when this whole COVID thing came about,
Mm.
and this guy 3D printed himself a crazy looking ventilator. And the people at work were like, hey, you could do that for us too. And of course, I think that's super expensive. I don't know. But I'm just like picturing this like space age.
Yeah.
Like he came to work with this like whole helmet craziness on.
Okay.
Yeah. Like bubble boy craziness.
Wow.
But I have seen like I'm pretty sure on Etsy I've seen people do like helmets like Star Wars helmets and stuff like that on
Yeah.
from 3D printers. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and the biggest expense is buying the printer itself, and then some of the patterns, like it depends on if you know like CAD design and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, you can get the patterns, and sometimes you have
Yeah.
to pay for them, sometimes they're free.
How
So
cool.
yeah,
Well, that's cool.
and you can't like other people. There's a girl on TikTok who designs her own patterns, and she like makes like superheroes like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, and like they are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
So,
cool.
yeah, Bill's like really into his 3D printer, which is
I can
awesome.
see why though. It's like I mean, it's like
Yeah, and it's
it's
like a one of a
fascinating.
kind thing. It's a one of a kind thing, and all of my little plants have their own little homes. He bakes this for me, and then I take my Dremel tool and put a hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool, man. That's cool. He should definitely sell that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I have seen people selling patterns, 3D printer patterns. Yeah. That's cool.
It is cool. It is cool. It's neat. And he's like figured out now how to like resize things, because this was from a pattern that was smaller,
Yeah.
like only about like that big around.
Yeah.
So he like doubled almost the size, maybe even more,
That's cool.
and made the pattern of the diamonds a little bit different, and like he's learning how to do all these neat tweaks to it.
That's cool, man.
Hmm.
So I have to tell you this because we're both into I can't get comfortable. So hold on, hold on.
Okay.
I'm like climbing all over. I'm so short. It's hard for me to get comfortable. Anyway, um,
Hard when your feet don't reach the ground. I
well,
understand.
and
I'm not
yeah,
tall.
it's a problem. But me and Dirk went to the store today, and it was like this really interesting shop where it was almost like an indoor flea market, but all the stuff was like handmade crafts and stuff, and it had sort of a shabby chic vibe to it. The place did, but everything was like super cool and everything. And there was this girl in there who was selling crystals and gems and things, but she also made these absolutely stunningly beautiful like sage bundles. And they would have like different herbs and flowers and like all this stuff. They were so beautiful.
Like so, like
Um,
this.
Yes, they were exactly like that, but just really like she used all these beautiful different herbs and yada yada yada. Anyway, I was laughing so hard because I've showed you the gem shop that's by my house. And I know how much this stuff costs to buy. And so I would pick up this little tiny, like it would be like a little point only like this high, like a little quartz or whatever. And she'd be charging like 30 some bucks for it. And I'm like, lady, I can go to the house to the place right by my house and get like a 1 pound bag of that for like less than that money. Yeah.
Okay, this is Caribbean calcite. It's also known as blue aragonite, right?
Yeah.
This is from Pakistan.
Right.
And I still, like, I paid for it to come from Pakistan.
Right.
And I would charge like $30 for this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like, what?
I just was like, look, I get you're trying to like, uh, you know,
That's price gouging, though, I feel like.
yeah, I'm like, if I
Especially
feel bad for
quartz.
anybody that,
Quartz
yeah,
is the most common mineral, like, wow.
and like none of the stuff, like, again, I just showed you the other day all that new stuff that I got.
Mhm.
The big, huge ones, like that were like this big around and like that tall. She was only charging like $5 for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know damn well this lady, because it's just in her, like, the next town over. She probably shops at that gem shop, probably has a wholesale license, buys the stuff even cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I'm like, okay, I get you've got to pay for your rent on your stall,
Yeah, but the standard is not to mark it up that much.
Right, right.
I can't say exactly what it is, but it's not that much.
Yeah, you shouldn't be charging $30 for something that somebody could go there and pay like $1.50 or $2.
Exactly. For. Like, even like these are carved, and it's
right.
This is Kambaba jasper.
Yeah.
So what Kambaba jasper is it is actually a fossil.
Mm-hmm.
And it is as the like rivers and stuff retreated, all the moss and the algae and stuff. So this is basically fossilized algae.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's carved and everything like that, and it still didn't cost me $30.
Right. Yeah. I was bummed out because I love buying stuff and I'm like, I'm not buying this.
It makes me sad.
Her bundles, the weird thing was like her sage bundles were decently priced. Like they were really beautiful and they were like $8 or something to me, which was like the fact that they were handcrafted and like really beautiful. And
that's about
that's right. Like that's a good price. And she's funny. Like she's like, oh, do you burn sage in your house? I'm like, no, I just like it. I have all of these sage bundles all over my house just because I like sage bundles. I think they're beautiful. And I'm like, our vibe in the house is good. I don't need to sage my house, whatever. I don't.
No, because you have sage everywhere in your house.
Yeah. And I don't really know what I believe about all that stuff anyway. So it's like irrelevant to me.
Right.
So like she's like, oh, you like gems and stuff? I'm like, yeah. And like she would have them labeled kind of like healing crystals and this and that. And I'm like, I just go off what I like. Like, I don't care what it, like I told you the other day, I'm like, I don't even remember what this is. I bought it because I liked the way it looked and the way it felt, The
green aventurine?
Yeah. I don't care what it's supposed to mean, I just liked it.
Really nice stone. Yeah,
it was really pretty.
You buy things because you like them, and that's the thing. Like, Susie and I used to kind of teach about stones, and like pretty heavily, like instruction wise. But the thing about they only mean what you put into them. Like there's certain things that will resonate with certain energies and whatever, but nothing means anything except for to the person that it means the thing to.
That's exactly how I feel. It's the same way I feel about, any kind of prayer or witchcraft or anything like that. It's like, if it doesn't mean anything to you, it doesn't mean anything to you. So like people are always like, here's a prime example is people will say, I'll pray for you, right? Are you really going to pray for me? Or are you just saying you're going to pray for me?
And do I care? And do I think your prayers are going to do anything? Because do I respect you?
Yeah, I don't get that too far into it, but like I know a lot of no, that's completely fine. That's completely fine. If someone the whole thoughts and prayers thing, I feel
find
like
that very insincere.
I think a lot of people, it is completely insincere. It's just become this rote thing that people say, kind of like when you pass someone, you say, hey, how are you today? Most people don't actually want to hear an answer back. They're just saying it because that's what you say to people.
That's what you're supposed to say, yeah.
They don't really care. Like if the person stopped and said, well, you know what? I'm really kind of having a shitty day. They would be like, what? Why are you telling me this? Yeah, like why are you telling me this? Like, dude, you just asked. But so I feel like a lot of times people will say, "Oh, I'll pray for you," but it's like a pat on the head kind of like whatever. Mm-hmm. There is never a time that if I'm scrolling through my Instagram or my Facebook or whatever, and anybody is saying, please pray for me, or my aunt or my uncle or my cousin or my dog or my fish or whatever, if I see that request, I promise you, I do it. Because I'm like, this person is specifically asking for this. They need the support.
Yes. And
I don't always tell the person that I did.
Exactly.
Because I don't need a pat on the head saying, good dog, oh, thank you. You've earned your nice people points today.
Yeah,
whatever.
Thank you. You can be my friend for a little bit longer. Like, no, but I guarantee you, if I say I'm doing it, I'm doing it.
Right. Exactly.
If I say I'm going to add you to my prayers at night, because I might not pray to the Christian God, but I say prayers, and I do rituals and things like that, and I have my own things I do. And if I say I'm going to do it, like if I say I'm going to light a candle for you, that means I'm going to light a candle for you, and I'm going to put every inch of my focus into setting that intention for whatever you ask for to happen.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Like, just don't be insincere about shit,
Yeah. I don't care what you believe. Believe what you believe.
Right.
Don't feed me bullshit.
Exactly. And like, again, I don't need a pat on the back saying, oh, you're a good person. I'm not a good person. I make mistakes just like everybody else does. But if I see that you need support prayerfully, even if I don't like you, I'm doing it because you've asked and you need it.
Yes, and people like you, when you say it, I believe it. There's certain people you can tell the level of their sincerity,
right?
And you don't question it. You know that, okay, so you and I believe differently, but I know.
But it's probably not as different as
other people
as it appears, right? As it appears, yeah.
But I know that if you say you're doing something, you're doing it, and I appreciate every bit of it because you're actually pouring your heart into it, and that matters. That makes
it does. I definitely feel like it does too.
Because it sends it up into the universe and it gets into that source or that God or whatever is out there.
Right.
And it changes energy. It does, and that matters.
Yeah. And even if you're the kind of person that doesn't necessarily believe that, just the fact that somebody wants to think a nice thought for you should make you feel better.
It does.
Like, you don't have to believe that the magic guy in the sky hears that prayer and is blah, 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 blah. But just the fact that somebody is thinking a nice thought for you and like wanting you to succeed and to be healthy or whatever.
It's a big deal because there's not a lot of that in the world.
Because too many people don't care about anybody but themselves and what benefits them. So if somebody is like literally taking their time, even if you don't believe in that, you should at least care that that person cared enough about you because they do believe in it.
Yeah, you know, and even if it's something like, wow, that really sucks for them, I hope it gets better. that's still kind of a big deal.
That's sort of a prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be official.
Or it's an intention setting or whatever.
Right. It's a
It
good thought.
matters. It matters.
It does. It does. Like I have this weird thing and I don't know where it stems from, but if I'm driving someplace, if I see a car on the side of the road, I instinctively always pray for that person because I'm like, I would hate to be in that position. Because everybody's been in that position where your car breaks down and you're on the side of the road and how stressful that is. And like,
I stop and see if they like typically.
I don't.
I typically stop and I'm like, do you need me to call somebody?
Yeah.
I don't let them in my car necessarily.
Yeah.
But I'll ask, do you need me to call someone or whatever.
I don't because I'm scared of people. Plus, it's usually I don't leave the house. So if I do leave the house, I'm specifically in a hurry to go someplace because I work from home. So
yeah,
I can't really stop. But
yeah, I
can think good thoughts for them.
I always say that I hate people because like collectively I'm not a fan, but individual people I like just fine.
I know. It makes perfect sense to me because I feel the same way. And I'll sit there and I'll say I hate people and then I'm like, but you don't. I actually really love people. It's more that people aggravate me and like make me sad. And that makes me angry.
And they disappoint me.
Yeah, because it makes me sad that some people are just so awful and like
and selfish.
They don't care about other people and like there's things in our world that could be easily fixed if people would stop hoarding money to themselves and actually do something nice about it.
Or just actually like pay attention to their neighbors and care for them. And like, the other day there's a little boy that lives across the street and I don't know, I don't think he was even born when we moved in here. And his name's Grayson and he's just the cutest little dude and he used to yell at me, hi, how you doing? And he was like 2 at the time, right? And anytime I would come home from work or whatever, hi, how are you today? And so like we started talking and what's your name? And the other day I hear him screaming absolute bloody murder. And I was like, what is going on out there? Grayson, have you lost I looked out and he's like terrified in the middle of the street, just screaming, paralyzed with fear. I was like, what? The other neighbor's dog had gotten out. And Grayson's he's a pit bull. He's not mean or anything.
Right.
But he'll bark at the kids because they scream when they see him. And he's like, oh, okay, we're barking now.
Right. We're screaming. Let's scream together.
Let's scream.
Yeah.
And so I went outside and this little kid came booking it over to me on his bike, screaming his little head off. And I guess I had gotten outside faster than his mom got outside. So he's over there and he's screaming. I'm like, it's all right. It's all right. He's holding on to me. He's got his arms around my waist. Aww. And I'm like, honey, it's okay. He's like, protect me. I was like, you're safe. It's fine. People need to do that.
Yeah.
If there's something wrong and you can fix it, it's not that hard. Just do it.
I know.
And do you have any idea how much that changes the world?
I know. I mean, even stupid stuff like a random compliment to somebody.
Oh, I like to tell people that their hair looks nice, or I like their hair, or I like their hair, whatever.
I mean, I've been creepy and said like, you smell amazing before. Like
I do that. I do that. What are you wearing? You smell so good.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think, and again, it's not like, look at me, I'm so cool, I'm so nice to people, blah blah blah. Because I fail sometimes also.
Oh, I'm
a dick. I mean.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I'm judgy. I judge people.
I don't know if I'm judgy or if I just don't have time for people's shit sometimes. Well, there's a couple people that rub me the wrong way. And I feel like there's something in me that they trigger and they don't know that they do it, but just the way they phrase things to me sets me off. And so I have to work really, really, really hard with these certain people not to like do the thing that we do.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
generally speaking, I'm pretty chill.
you mean that thing that we do where we tear people apart with words?
Yeah, that thing. But
Yeah,
there's
that's
this,
what I'm
there's
saying.
this,
I'm an asshole.
yeah, there's
I
this
do
one
that
person, and I'm picturing them in my head, but I feel like they intentionally antagonize me. And then when I say something, they pull
act
this
like it
whole thing
was.
that like I'm misinterpreting it or I'm just a bitch and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, you fucking goaded me with a stick for like 15 minutes. And I
Yes.
sat here and said nothing and I said nothing and I said nothing. And
And
you
then when I
go,
do say
yeah,
something, I'm the one. I
yeah,
ended up leaving a job because of that. There was because I have PTSD
yeah,
because of stuff.
sure.
And this person that I worked for would say things
Nice.
about like how I was going to come in and shoot up the place because I have PTSD and I was going to have an episode one day. And
Bitch, I'm going to start with you.
eventually it got to the point where I lost it at work
Wow.
and I screamed at that person for a good 20 minutes, bawling my head off,
Of course.
trying to get our boss to intervene. He didn't. And for whatever reason, and I just lost my mind and I couldn't handle it anymore and I couldn't take it. And because this individual was constantly at me, and if he would leave things for me to do that weren't really mine to do, and then if they went wrong, it was my fault. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I lost my mind, and
People
so I
suck.
didn't have that job anymore because I walked out. I packed, I threw all my stuff into boxes, and I left.
Yeah. So
It
let
was
me tell you, if you do this, because we're both Aries, we have very similar vibes about how we deal with shit. So, in a situation like that, because as I was talking about that person I was just talking about, every single time that person projects that stuff onto me and I get mad, then I feel guilty about it.
absolutely.
And I'm like, I know technically I shouldn't feel guilty about this,
But
but
this
then
is
I
all my
sit
fault.
there, yeah, because then I'll sit there and go, well, maybe I'm reading
Maybe
them the wrong way, and
I read it wrong. Maybe they were just kidding. Maybe I'm the one who's out of line.
yes, and then I'll always say like, okay, I'll talk to a friend and be like, did I read this wrong? And they'll be like, no. I'm like, okay, okay.
Did I see
As
that?
long as, yeah, as
I
long
think I
as,
see that a lot with you, where I'm like, did you
yeah,
see this happen? Did I misinterpret?
yeah.
Did I read it right? Did I read it wrong? I always need like an outside eye.
I do too, because sometimes I'm like, why is this pissing me off so bad? Am I justified in being this angry about this? And then if whoever I ask goes, oh yeah, then I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Most people have never told me that I'm being unjustifiably irritated by something, so I must have a pretty good handle on it. Either that or all my friends are irritated by the same shit that I'm irritated by.
I know, right?
Which is very possible.
Mhm.
Yeah, birds of a feather and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this one person, Mike always tells me about, he read this book, I think by Carlos Castaneda, where he talks about petty tyrants. And they're these people that are in your life just specifically
Person was a
to
petty.
irritate the fuck out of you. And
Mhm.
then you have to learn how to not let them irritate the fuck out of you. And I'm just like, yeah, but Hulk smash. I just want
Candy
to
smash.
smash. Plus, why do people enjoy that? Like, oh, and this person will be like, I just hate arguing. It's like, bitch, you
And
just
why did you wind me up?
don't poke the bear and then get mad when the bear takes their paw and swipes your fucking head off.
Yeah, or it'll be like, well, okay, but you don't have to be so mean about it. Okay, but you know what? you've been messing with me about the same thing for like a year before I
Hmm.
said anything. So I've got a lot of built up aggression to
Yeah.
like,
Well, and then they'll come back around too and be like, act like nothing ever happened.
yeah.
And then be like, oh, do you want to do XYZ? And I'm like, not
What?
with
I'm so
you.
mad at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hold a grudge.
They're exciting.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, I told her the idea about the THC party.
Oh yeah?
She's in.
I'm ready. Like, let's go.
I just came out for something to eat.
He goes, I just came out for something to eat.
Oh, it's almost midnight here. I'm not really ready. I mean, I am, but it'll be my bedtime dosage.
Sup, bro? Sup, dude? What you eating? Is that those weird candies?
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Weird candies.
He got these. We went to the World Market today. Do you guys have those there? That Cost Plus World Market? And I don't know, but they have candies from like all over the world, and he got these weird gummy things. I don't know. They're very odd texture. They taste good though.
Are they like fluffy, almost like marshmallows?
No, hey Dirk, bring me one.
They gotta either be Japanese or Swedish.
They're like this,
Weird.
and so they're gummy, but they're not like usual gummy texture, and it's not like taffy. It's almost like a mix of taffy and gummy. They're
Weird.
good. Hey, look, we just turned our thing into a mukbang.
But I don't have any food. The only kind of gummies I have are special. I don't want to.
You don't want to overload.
Don't want to eat 15 of those.
It'd probably be entertaining.
I'd be sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried first of all, I've never smoked pot in my life. Just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when
I
Mike
never did it till my doctor prescribed it for me.
yeah. When Mike got his medical, I thought, well, maybe that would help with anxiety, you know?
It does.
Wow, not for me, it doesn't.
Mm.
But like he literally, like if it was a gummy bear, he cut the ear off and gave it, like it would be the equivalent of cutting the ear off and giving it to me. It was like nothing.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like anything that makes me feel different gives me anxiety. So whether it's a positive different or a negative different, it all equals the same anxiety to me. Like that's why the whole hormone thing is bad for me, because you know when your hormones fluctuate, your body will feel slightly different.
Yes.
And I can feel just that slight difference, and then it causes me to have anxiety because I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Why do I feel weird? You know, why does my tongue feel funny? Why does my hands feel funny? Well, it's all hormones.
Yeah.
So it caused me anxiety.
It's the only thing I found that I have a lot of nerve pain and neuropathy and things like that, almost like diabetic neuropathy.
Yeah.
I can't feel my feet, either of them. Like I can't.
It's crazy.
Feel my feet, I won't feel it. And I have a hard time feeling my right leg and my right arm. Luckily, I'm left-handed, but I have a lot of pain in my joints, in my knees and my hips.
Yeah.
Especially my hips. And it's the only thing I found that eases the pain in my hips. Like
that's how Mike is too.
I take morphine twice a day.
That's wild.
And even that doesn't help like as much as the weed does. And when I tell you the doctor prescribing it for me changed my life.
Yeah.
Changed my life because I can use it at night and it'll help me go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then even the next day I feel better.
Yeah. That's how it is with Mike, because how he got prescribed it, first of all, he has arthritis. And then he had 2 torn rotator cuffs. And so when he went to the doctor for that, and this is actually I can't, I was going to tell you where he went, but it'll give away too much about his personal life. So I'm not going to tell you. But this place that he went to, the doctor was like, yeah, I would prefer you go on medical marijuana because these these drugs are so too hardcore. You know,
Mhm.
all these pain meds are just, they're not good for most people.
Mhm.
So he started doing them, and he only started with like 2.5 grams or something. And he only does the gummies, but now he switched to drops that he just drops in his drink or whatever.
The drops don't work for me that well.
Isn't that funny? Because they work better for him.
So I use the it's like an oil concentrate. It's like,
Okay.
yeah. And this little thing
Interesting.
just warms it up, and then
Yeah.
it's like a vape.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that because he used to smoke, and he was afraid that would trigger him to want to start smoking again.
Oh,
Yeah. But he does the gummies and then the oil, or the liquid, and then every once in a while he'll just be like, I don't need it, and he'll like quit buying it, and then all of a sudden he can't sleep anymore, and his arms are killing him. And I'm like, dude, have you been doing your gummies? No. Time to get some
best
more.
thing in the world that they did to me was when New York State legalized it
Yeah.
for recreational use,
Mm-hmm.
because now I can actually afford my medicinal.
Right.
Because the medical marijuana, like going to the medical dispensary, unbelievably expensive, and insurance doesn't cover it.
Right. It's interesting because this stuff that he gets is all super affordable.
Well, is it legal for recreational use where you are?
It is now, but he has a medical license. He was getting it medical because they didn't legalize it until this past election.
Yeah,
So
well, I think
for casual use.
we don't have, like, we only had 3 different methods of delivery available through the medical place, and there's only a few dispensaries,
Mm,
and so the prices were like stupid.
that's ridiculous. Yeah,
Like a
they're
bottle
all
of
over here.
drops, one bottle of drops that would last you a week was like $45.
That is,
And
I think
with,
they're only like $15 or something here.
yeah, I'm on disability, and
Mhm.
even before then, it only just got approved last October.
Yeah,
Before then, I didn't have $45 a week to get it.
right,
So
right.
I would go and buy an eighth for like $20 and just nurse it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And like the gummies and stuff are super cheap too.
Mm.
Like I feel like he only pays like $60, and that includes his like delivery because he gets it delivered straight to the house. It's hilarious.
Nice.
And it's so funny, like he's always like, if only the pharmacy was as well organized as the pot place, because like first of all, you go there and they have security guards there. You have to wait your turn to go in.
Yes.
And it's like, and the delivery service, they bring it right to the house. The guys are always super friendly. They give you like advance notice, like, hey, I'm on my way. It's just like if the regular pharmacy worked as awesomely as, yeah, it's amazing. And it's so funny, we always laugh because the guys are always like, hey man, like,
Yeah.
like these like surfer type dudes that show up to the house or whatever. But
That's
yeah, we have one just, it's literally not even a mile from our house. And you know, like I've never been in there, but he's like, yeah, it's like really clean, and like it's just like going to like a
Ours
really
is
nice
like,
store.
our dispensary is like going to like a boutique, like where the rich
Yeah.
people shop, where
Right.
like there's a waiting room and they call you back one at a time.
Yes.
They're like, so how are you feeling, and what can we do for you today, and what options would you like to try, and
Yeah.
how much would you like, and you have like this selection of choices. Okay, well, I'm having trouble sleeping, so let me try this, and
Right.
change it up every single time.
Right. It's
And they're always
fascinating.
like, they're in there in their white coats selling you pot. Like,
It's fantastic. Like and you know, the funny thing is like Mike said, when you go there, it's almost always old people.
mm-hmm.
Which to me, I'm like, I love that, because if you cannot be on prescription medicines that are like harsh to your body,
Yeah.
and you can just go up there and some little old lady can just go up there and get some gummies for her aching joints and whatever, like how much better is that than having to be on these hardcore opioids and narcotics and like all this stuff that you start taking it and then you got to take more and more and more and more. And, you know, so if somebody can just go get some gummies or some drops or some pot and smoke it or whatever, and like avoid going on prescription medicines and having to deal with all the effects of that, it's awesome.
I have medications that I take to help with side effects from other medications.
Yeah, and that sucks.
And so, yeah, like I take a medication for my stomach that's specifically just to protect the lining of my stomach because of the other stuff I take.
That sucks so bad,
I have
man.
to take, I take a chemo drug, and I have to take folic acid because of it, so that I'm not like nauseous all the time. It's wild.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? So I'm only on 2 prescription meds, and one of them I forget to take half the time. And it's like uh, omeprazole. So it's just stomach medicine to keep from getting ulcers again. And then the other one that I have is Zofran, which I don't take. I take it whenever I need it. Like if I have a really bad nausea day. Yeah, that's a miracle. That drug's a
I
miracle
use
drug.
it every Thursday because Wednesday's chemo day.
Yeah, I'm sure. But the stupid thing about that pill is that the insurance will only give me 12 pills. And
Yep.
I'm like, first of all, I don't take it. The way that my doctor prescribed it was take it daily as needed. Okay. 12 pills. How do I take that
12
daily?
days.
And then the last time when I went to get it renewed or whatever, they won't renew it over the phone. You have to go in. And I don't understand why they treat that drug like it's some like
I
really
don't
hard.
know.
It's really weird because it doesn't get you high. It doesn't do anything to you except for make you not want to puke.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
true.
last time I went, maybe it's because it was a male doctor. I don't know, because the doctors that prescribed it to me were female, and it was because of like with hormones and stuff. That's why I have problems with my stomach, like with really bad nausea, plus not having a gallbladder. So, and it's not even all the time. It's just like it's related to cycles and all that kind of stuff. So like usually I can tell what part of the month I'm more likely to have nausea problems and stuff like that. Anyway, so I went to this doctor and he's like, you know, you're not supposed to just be on this medicine forever, right? And I'm like, well, I only take it like maybe once a month, like maybe once a month. It's
Also,
not
he's
even,
wrong. Also, he's
yeah,
wrong.
none of the other doctors have ever had a problem with it. And like, again, I don't take it every day. I take it when I need it, max twice a month. Like that's a bad month if I have to take it more than once. And even most months I don't even take it once, you know? So it's just like really weird. And I'm like, you're acting like this is like cocaine or something. Like you don't get high off of it. So I don't know why why do they baby that medicine so much? I don't know. It's really weird.
That might just be a thing about where you are, because here I actually have a prescription where I get take it every night.
Mm-hmm.
So I get 30 at a time.
Oh my
and
God.
I get the ones that dissolve under your tongue, so that if I'm having, because I have problems with nausea because of
Yeah.
the medications I'm on, so it's unpredictable, and I've found that it depends on what I eat.
Yeah.
If I'm eating a lot of food with grease in it, then I get more nauseous
Sure.
than if I'm eating a lot of fresh food.
Yeah.
So I get like a box of them, and I get like 30 of them. Like I get a box of the dissolvable ones and a 30, but I can't get my Lyrica. My Lyrica is considered a controlled substance, which is the one that's for my nerve pain. And that also doesn't get you high. It doesn't do anything except for keep me from feeling like I'm getting electrocuted.
It's so randomly weird.
If I don't take it's a combination. We found the sweet spot. It's 15 milligrams of morphine. This is very personal, but 15 milligrams of morphine in the morning and at night, along with 200 milligrams of Lyrica in the morning and at night. And that stops my nerve pain.
Yeah.
So my joint pain's a whole other story, and that's what the weed is for. But I also have like Vicodin to take for that. And that's one where they're just like, nope, you can't have anything more than 60 at a time.
Yeah.
That's
Understandable.
but when I had my surgery, I was in a lot more pain. And they
Yeah.
left me in pain at the nursing home. They left me in pain and didn't increase my medication as they should have. I had to get my primary care doctor involved. Like it was a whole big thing. I don't know if you remember. I was hysterical.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was
Yeah.
awful. It was
Ugh.
absolutely horrible. And my sister got involved, like, because she's my healthcare proxy.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, sis?
That just sucks. And then,
Well, and what really sucks is I used to work in a place like that, and my sister used to work in a place like that. And I would never have left someone, like, let alone if they ring their call bell and they need you, I wouldn't leave it as long as I would have to wait to get somebody to
that's
come
just
see me.
crazy.
So it's horrible to me. What's horrifying to me is what about most of the people that are there are old
Right.
or non-functional.
Right.
So what happens with them?
Yeah.
What happens to these people that can't stick up for themselves?
Right.
I only got what I needed because I was a pain in the ass.
Right. And a lot of people can't advocate for themselves, and they have nobody else to advocate for them either.
Exactly. And it took me advocating for myself, my sister advocating for me, and my own doctor advocating for me for them to get it right.
It's crazy.
Lily.
She likes to scream at Mike. It's the weirdest thing. She just screams at him for no reason.
Finn does that.
It's
I don't know
so
if you've
weird.
When Susie and I do our thing, I don't know if you've seen Finn will like jump up and be like, "Arr!" in my
It's
face.
so weird.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Stop
Like
selling me, you bear.
she'll just start barking for like no freaking reason. It's so weird. Ugh. Trying to reach my lotion. My hands are dry. Now they're moist. Gross.
Voice.
Yuck.
Yay. Like your panties?
Ew. Not currently.
I hate that word. Panties.
I hate
is not
it too.
the word.
You know what's so weird though? I hate the word panties too, but I seem to use it often. Because it sounds better to me than underwear. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because that's what my mom always called them.
Yeah. Right.
What else are you supposed to call? They call them pants in England.
Do they really?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense though, because then what are pants?
Trousers.
Oh, I don't like that.
So I'll be like, oh, I gotta take my pants off, and Simon will be like, yeah. Like, no.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's one part about writing that's hard is like finding words that aren't gross for stuff that's awkward.
Yeah, because how do you say that you licked your lips to moisten them without saying you licked your lips to moisten them? And then you have to say this.
Well, and even describing like dirty parts, it's like it's hard to find that sweet spot, so to speak, between.
That's what she said.
Yeah. I know. Like to be descriptive enough without being gross, and like to find words that don't make you cringe. It's a whole dance. That's it's really hard to like.
Because there are some stories I've read where they'll be describing like a real hot and heavy scene, and then they'll say like one word or the other, and I'm like,
cringe.
You lost me.
Yeah. It's really difficult to figure out how to word stuff without being gross or cheesy or like eye rolly.
Where is Dirk in the room?
No, and I'm on headphones.
Okay, because you don't want to hear about somebody's throbbing member.
Gross.
That always just like
Or their
Robbie
sheep.
member stood erect.
Oh.
God, ew.
I feel like I'd rather just use the most crass description of that particular body part because it's less cringy and gross than trying to like be flowery about it or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
His manhood.
What does that even mean?
I guess that they just define manhood by penis size, which
Yes.
I've always thought about manhood as being a collection of things
Right.
that didn't necessarily include body parts.
Why am I coughing today?
I don't know. I'm doing it too. Air quality, maybe.
Oh, the air quality here has been really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because people are always like, oh, you should do audiobooks. And I'm like, dude, there's no way I could read my books without cringing the fucking skin off my body. Which might be part of the fun.
Might be.
For people to watch me cringe my skin off.
You should read your books like on a stuff and things.
But only the dirty parts.
I'll do it.
Just to, oh, you read it one and watch me react. Oh.
I'll read one part and you read the other.
Like, I'm always like, that's one of the things that, like, when people I know read my books, I get so much more nervous about it because I feel like, are people reading into these things? Like, I never want people reading into it, you know, like, oh, she thinks this about this, or you know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah, like your characters' opinions and turn-ons are not necessarily your own. Like, that's the idea of a made-up story.
Right. And so I'm always nervous about people reading into things or like, oh, when she's talking about this, that's her like inner demon or inner struggle or like, oh, I don't know. I know where she got that because this happened at that one time and then that happened and that's, you know, whatever. And it's like, it feels like people reading a diary that's not necessarily a diary, but
like looking through your personal journal or something.
Kind of, or like looking for meaning in things that might not exist.
Yeah.
And then when I think about people reading those parts, it's always like weird for me.
I think
like,
you worry too much, honey.
Well, that's a given. That is 100% a given. But like when Timothy was doing the layout for the books and stuff, and he was reading the book, and I'm just like, don't read it like while you're reading it. I get all nervous about people reading.
Was that English?
You know,
yeah, I do.
Like only kind of slightly side eye it while you're reading it.
Yeah, just glance over it.
Because it creeps me out. Like I get like so weirded out by people that I know reading my stuff. It's so weird. But I'm not like that about music or anything though. It's weird. What's coming up? 2 women left unsupervised. I just got a notification. How's that possible? Susie's
because
doing
our
stuff?
YouTube video just dropped.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I owe some links on that, so I better put those in the description after we hang up.
Yes, please do. Yeah. My bangs.
Yeah.
They're at that perfect length. Not too short, not too long.
They look good. I like them.
I know. I did them with the electric razor this time.
Okay.
I used to scissor them, you know.
Yeah, I usually cut my hair with the kitchen shears. Not even
right on. Well, somebody recently.
Because I like that chunky.
Are you the one that said, "Did you use a steak knife"? Was that you?
No.
Somebody. I the last post I made about bangs, somebody said, "Did you use a steak knife?" And I thought it was hilarious.
I would never, because like how like there's a possibility for that to be taken the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I kind of did take it the wrong way probably, but I still thought it was funny. But yeah, it kind of seemed like, are you insulting my bangs? Is that what you're saying to me right now?
Yeah, I would.
No, I didn't use a steak knife. Sometimes they come out better than other times.
I
It's
used the
okay.
bread knife this time.
Yeah, I used the butter knife, serrated butter.
Yeah.
The pizza shears. Remember?
God, can you imagine how long that would take? I have these herb shears that
There you
have
go.
like 5 blades on them, and they like. I cut my hair with that last time.
Did you for reals?
It came out great.
Well, yeah, because it would give it texture.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was the idea.
that's funny though. Well, they make hair shears that have teeth like this
Yeah,
that you use to when you don't want a blunt cut, you want,
yeah.
they make scissors like that. Like if you need to thin somebody's hair out, you use those. You just kind of go.
Well, see, that was the idea of why I did them like
Yeah,
that. I was like, my hair's so thick,
yeah.
so much of it. So I chopped bangs into it with the herb shears.
That's cool though, and funny.
It worked out.
I used to always just use regular old scissors. I mean,
Mhm. I've used my kids' safety scissors. I
yeah,
don't care. Is it sharp enough to cut the hair? Good. It's cutting the
yeah.
hair.
I like it when you do it and they just bend. The
Yeah.
hair just bends. Like, oh yeah, I guess these are dull.
Time to replace the scissors.
Yeah, I have and you're not supposed to use your hair cutting scissors for anything else. And I'm like always in the bathroom trying to open a bath bomb and I'm like, oh, grab the hair scissors. Like, whatever. I'm not a professional. Who cares?
Yeah. I got my hair cut professionally this like most recent haircut
Yeah.
for the first time in like years.
That's how it was for me. I haven't been to the hair salon since 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very exciting. I was so nervous. I'm like, I hope this girl doesn't screw my hair up because it wasn't my normal girl. And I'm like one of these people, like when I decide, okay, I need a haircut, I have to do it like right now.
Yeah.
And so I didn't hear back from her like immediately, and I don't expect her to be at my beck and call. But I wanted it done like right now. And so I just went to the salon like right by my house. So you never know what you're going to get when you go to somebody you don't know. But she was wonderful. She did a good job. So it's right, like not even a quarter mile from my house.
Yeah, the girl that did my hair last did my color too, and it looks great.
It looks good. Yeah. I
yeah,
like
it's
that
grown
blue.
out, so I've got roots now, but.
What is your natural color?
Red, dark red.
Is it really? That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a auburn, like a dark auburn.
For the first time since the 80s, I don't have any color in my hair anymore.
I love your hair color.
I'm like weirdly liking it too. Sometimes I miss having black hair, but it's almost like such an anomaly to have my actual normal human hair color. Mm-hmm. That it's exciting to me for some strange reason. I guess because I've been dyeing it for so long that not having any dyeing in it is the special thing now. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean,
and I like that it has silver in it. I don't know.
Yeah. I enjoy having the anime hair. Like,
yeah.
And every once in a while it'll still surprise me. Even though I've been dyeing it stupid colors for who knows how many years. And I'll be like, oh, okay, it's blue right now. Or, oh, wow, it's purple. Oh, crap. When did it turn red? Like,
yeah.
I've been through a few colors in the past year.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, and the interesting thing about the colors, too, is that they fade to different colors. So.
Yeah, I'm interested in what this is going to turn into. I think it's going to be a really neat cobalt blue.
It's really cool. Could go green, too.
Could.
Like turquoisey green.
It could. We'll find out.
Yes, we will.
On the next episode of what color is Candy's hair going to be.
Yeah, my hair when I was young was pretty, almost black. And then it got a lot of red in it.
Yours is a really pretty chestnut color, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what color it is. It's weird. I don't know what color it is. It's brown of some sort.
Yeah.
I have no idea what my mom's natural color is. I've never seen her hair.
Really?
Regrowth. I've seen like regrowth, but not like a whole head of normal hair. So I don't have any idea what color her real hair is. Isn't that weird?
I don't think my kids know what color my hair is either.
Yeah, that's weird if you
I
think
don't
about
think
it,
they
huh?
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to. That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, there are parts in my hair right now, like it's not all blue. Some
Yeah,
of it is my natural color, but it's hard to see it because it's almost like my natural color is highlights.
exactly. Yeah. So that's like trying to tell what somebody would look like with their natural hair color from like a quarter inch of regrowth. You can't really tell what color it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. You know what's weird too? I was talking to Timothy about this because his hair is like all gray. And I'm like, what was the transition period like? He's like, I don't really remember there being a transition period. It was like one day it was just all a different color.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
have
weird.
a white stripe in the
You
front
do. You have a
right
storm
here.
stripe.
Yeah.
Is it storm?
Rogue.
Rogue, yeah, rogue.
Orange tire is all white. But then I have another one, like I have racing stripes in my hair here. And then I have a lot of silver in it. I figure
Yeah.
when it all turns white, because it's like this really pretty bright silver white, when
Yeah.
it's all like that, I'll stop dyeing it.
Yeah, that'll look good.
I like
I
it.
know. I'm envious of people who have really, really, really pretty gray hair, or gray or white or silver or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's not like that kind of yellowy, dirty.
Yeah,
But you can fix that. There's ways to fix that.
lots of ways. Yeah,
Yeah. Like Tim's hair is good. It's a good color.
yeah, it's pretty.
I think mine is gonna be
I think
from
yours is really pretty.
based on the few pieces that are in there. It's pretty white. We'll see.
Yeah, only one way to find out.
Well, we're gonna, because I'm not dyeing my hair anymore. Of course, tomorrow I might decide I'm sick of this shit and do it anyways. We'll see. But I don't think so. I'm just over it. It's so much work.
It is a lot of work.
Like when your hair grows fast too, and like you have a lot of hair too, it's so much work. And
It
if
took
it could be expensive.
oh my God, it took them 5 bowls of bleach.
Yeah.
And they didn't even bleach, like I said, my whole head. And it took them 5 bowls of bleach to do the bleach to make my hair blue.
Yeah.
And then it took 3 bottles, 3 8-ounce bottles, the
Yeah.
big bottles of color to
Yeah.
color it.
That's how it was when I had like the really long hair.
Yep, I was there.
And you're there all day. Yeah, you're there all day. Because
Yep.
then they all want to play with your hair after they're done.
Yep.
So then they.
So she was like getting ready to blow dry, and I was like, you don't have to do that because I don't blow dry my hair.
Mhm.
I don't apply heat to it like almost ever.
I don't either. I don't even own a blow dryer.
And the lady that owns the salon, she's like, you gotta let her blow dry it and see what it's gonna look like. I was like, it's blue. It's gonna look blue. But I was like, all right, you know. So she blows it out and then she curls it, and I was like, so much heat on my hair, no. But I didn't want to be a dick.
Yeah.
And it did look really nice, but
yeah, they have fun. They
Good time.
genuinely love playing with hair. So to them that's exciting. And like the same thing kind of just happened to me where I didn't care that she blew dry. Like I don't like I said, I don't even own a blow dryer, but I'm like, whatever. I already know they're going to blow dry your hair. So she blow dried it and then she got the curling iron. I'm like, again, I don't even own a curling iron. And I haven't had my hair curled since like high school. Yeah. I don't know. And she curled it and it looked really good, but it was so weird because I'm like, this is so not how I do my hair like ever.
It looked really pretty.
It looked really good, but it was such a strange thing because I'm like, wow, this is like how real girls do their hair.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I was like, I left it alone for a few days and I was like, I'm so
yeah. Yeah, this is how real girls do it. And I came home and Mike's like, oh, it looks really good. He's like, it looks foxy. Because that's what it looked like 70s curl, like
Foxy Brown, like
yeah. I should have had roller skates on and like knee-high socks or something, but it just was funny because
was on them.
yeah, I'm like, this is not how I have ever literally once in my entire 48 or 9, however how old I am now, years of living have ever done my hair. It was such a weird thing, but it looked good.
We're the same age. I thought you were younger than me.
No, 49 now.
I'm 47.
I'm old.
I'm old. I'm pushing 50 really hard. I'm about
No,
to
it's
tip it over.
weird. It's such a weird thing. I hate time.
I don't feel middle-aged.
I don't mind getting older technically, but I hate time because it just keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then one day it stops for you.
I don't believe it stops.
Well, this shell stops.
Well, true.
I hate it. And like when you know this because you have a kid, like they change so much every single day.
Yeah.
Like I just want him to stay like a baby and happy and safe. And
oh my gosh, my son came home from his dad's the other day and he was wearing a baseball hat, and for whatever reason the door was locked, so he rang the bell and I opened the door and I was like, who is this man at my door?
oh,
Because he's 14 now, right? And
yeah.
he's getting a mustache and he's getting a little beard, and somehow when he was at his dad's he lost all of his baby fat, so he has this carved out jawline, and I was like, wow, who are you? He got a haircut and he looks like an adult, and it freaks me out.
I know, I don't like it. I don't want Dirk to grow up and like we're always like, well, first of all, he's still at the age where he likes us, so he's like, I'm gonna live here forever and blah blah blah, and I'm like, please don't ever leave.
AJ still says he's gonna live with me forever and take care of me, and
I want that to happen.
With me, so
I never want Dirk to leave.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Just stay little. I hate it. I hate doing the math in my head too. Like when I'm this age, he'll be this age.
Don't do that, honey.
I know, it's depressing to me. I hate it. It's one of those things that's haunted me like though my entire life, even as a little kid. Even as a little kid, I would think about like little think about time passing, and it used to make me really like I would sit in my room and cry about it at like 7, just random. Aww. And like I always hated New Year's Eve even as a little kid because I'm like, ugh, it's like death. I don't like it.
Aww.
I don't know. I'm not a fan. I actually wrote a story about that. Do you know Joe Pulver?
It's the author.
He does. He's an author. He did a lot of books like about. I'm completely losing H.P. Lovecraft type stuff.
Okay.
And he passed away, but me and him did a collaboration together, and it was a conversation with time, like if time was a person or whatever. But it was a short story thing I did. But I hate time. Like no offense, time, but I just hate the passing of time. It's like a little death every second, a little death, a little death, a little death. It's very depressing to me. I was like 7 something, very young elementary school, sitting in my room thinking about, okay, should I say this right now? So my brother in my assessment never liked me, even as a little tiny kid. And I remember being in my bedroom thinking, okay, my parents are getting older. What happens if they die? My brother doesn't like me. I'm going to be all alone. And then what if I die? Nobody will ever know that I existed. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to write my name in the back of the closet where it'll be like a secret spot. And I wrote my name in the back of my closet, like as high up as I could reach, thinking, okay, so if I disappear, someday somebody will see my name and know that I existed. What a weird, morbid shit thing for like a little, but that's been my mindset my entire life. So I'm always like, I fight time. I don't like to go to sleep. I sleep as little as I can. And even though I love sleep too, because that's dreamland and I love dreamland, but it's such I hate it. I really hate the passing of time.
Yeah.
In
You're not
summation.
the only one that did weird stuff as a kid. My mom used to make beef jerky and fudge, right? Like, and she'd make both at the same time.
Random?
No, but hold on, just stay with me, okay?
Okay.
I used to, when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, like take a bandana and put the beef jerky and fudge in it, like it was my provisions, and I'd wrap it up and I'd leave the house. And we lived in Wyoming in the middle of friggin' nowhere, right? So it was fine. Nobody was gonna bother me. And my mom would just be like, be home before dark.
Right.
I'd be like, I'm running away. And she'd be like, all right, see ya. And we had this big hill behind our house at the time, and it was just like this dirt hill. And I used to go and I would like dig myself a little hollow in the dirt, and it would be like my cave. So you're not exactly that weird. I was gonna run away and be a hermit and live with the wolves. And you were worried people weren't gonna know you were there.
Yeah.
I'd have my little provisions and I'd eat them throughout the day, and then I'd go home at dinner time when I got hungry.
Fudge and beef jerky.
Fudge and beef jerky, and that would be my lunch.
I mean, not a bad diet.
I mean, I was skinny until I had kids.
Yeah, I never had that.
I was a lanky kid.
Yeah. That's how Dirk is. He's like a twig.
My teeth were too big for my head. My wrists were too big for my arms. Like, I was weird looking.
Your wrists were too big.
Like, yeah, like my all my joints, it seemed like they were too big for my body.
Because you were so skinny?
I was so skinny.
Wow. Never had that problem.
Yeah, I was a weird looking little kid. Big old buck teeth when I got my... Not that you can tell now, yeah.
I have, well, my teeth are still sort of big. I don't have buck teeth, but my teeth, definitely that second grade era where your teeth first start coming in, when you know you lose those ones, and then they were definitely way bigger than my face.
Yeah, mine were gigantic, and they're crooked in the front. The only reason they don't look crooked is because this one got chipped on merry-go-round.
Oh,
when I was 12. Yeah.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah, it hurt a little bit.
I'm always scared to death of chipping my teeth, or like I have dreams all the time where my teeth are crumbling in my mouth.
I have that too. I wonder what
it's anxiety.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like a standard anxiety. It's like the same kind of dream where you're naked in school, or I have this one a lot where
it bother me. I would just be like, yeah, what's up?
That's a nightmare scenario for me. I have also dreams where either I'm at school or I'm at work, and I realize I haven't done either my job or gone to class for like months, and then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, I better take this seriously. I know, it's very stressful.
I hate those.
But again, those are standard sort of anxiety.
Do you get panic attacks when somebody says we need to talk? Or I need to talk?
Yes.
Oh my God. Every time, fight or flight response.
My boss will set up like one-on-one meetings, and every single time she does that, I'll send emails to my other teammates and be like, did you get a one-on-one? And if they say yes, then I'm like, okay, cool. She's just checking in with all of us. She has now learned that panics all of us. And so she'll send out a message saying, I'm sending out messages. I'm sending out invites to one-on-ones. Don't panic. We're just checking in. So she has learned that freaks us all out. Because I instinctively think I fucked up something. Like I'm in trouble for something. I did something. I'm getting fired, whatever.
I had a boss that used to call me into his office all the time. And it would be like either for work related stuff or to like tell me I was getting a raise or whatever. And I never got in trouble at that job. But every time he would call me into his office, I would panic and think I was getting fired.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Again, like I don't do anything to get in trouble for, But
exactly.
it's a Mike does the exact same thing. It's like this paranoid thing that I must have done something somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's an overachiever thing.
It could be, or like an inferiority complex thing.
Imposter syndrome. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't belong here. I've just been fooling all these people. I mean,
exactly.
I feel that way all the time. All the time. Especially the situation I'm in right now where I'm training people and I'm always just like, they're expecting me to get these people thoroughly trained in this insanely short amount of time and to be good at it, and I'm not going to get blamed for it if it fails. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see how that would happen.
Like, it's a lot of pressure.
Sure.
Doing the best I can.
That's all you can do.
I actually love my team. I think they're fantastic, but
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, like, just do your best. That's all we can. So we're not getting nearly enough time to practice. I taught them something brand new this week, and already have to move them to a next thing Monday. And I'm just like, I said to them, like, I'm sorry, because they're like, I don't think we have enough time. We need extra time. And I'm like, I was told we have to stick to the schedule. I'm sorry.
Yikes.
Yeah. And I hate it because I feel like I'm setting them up to fail and there's nothing I can do about it.
Aw.
Hopefully that's not true. They're super smart and they pick it up like really quick, you know, but still you have to be able to practice things in order to cement it into your brain, you know?
Yes.
But anyways.
But if it makes you feel any better, when I was in explosive ordnance disposal school, we would learn concepts like chemistry and physics. Well, not physics. Physics took a little longer, but like the mechanics of how explosions work and things like that. We would learn it one day and have to test on it the next day. And anything that was like a concept like how to actually disarm something, we would learn it for the first part of the week, practice it either the next week or the second part of the week, and then test on it. Like bam, 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 bam. So it can be done.
Yeah, I know. It's just so much. And they don't really get a lot of practice on it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm sad Tim didn't come and hang out with us.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Like a reenactment of the very first Stuff and Things.
Yes. We'll have to have like a 100 episode reunion or something.
Yeah. So this is episode 23 or 2. I can't remember.
Maybe a 25th episode reunion.
Yeah. Yeah. How fun.
We can do reunions on like the 50s or something. I don't know.
Should we like wear ball gowns and stuff?
I actually own a tiara, so
Right. I have a crown. It's not a tiara, but it's a crown.
And that works.
That would be funny.
That would be hilarious. And Tim would do it.
Think so?
I think so if we asked him.
Put a crown on. Put a tiara on.
Put a tiara on or a top hat or something fancy. Yeah.
Oh my God, a top hat.
That would so suit him. Or a bowler hat.
Or I don't know what.
He could pull off anything, really.
What kind of a hat? What kind of a hat does like a lumberjack wear? Don't they wear hats?
They wear beanies, don't they?
Yeah, I guess so. He wears
like
beanies.
Paul Bunyan, I always picture in a beanie.
Like those ones with the furry ear flaps or whatever.
Yeah, the flat hats.
Stupid. He probably has one.
Like the one from the pilots wear from like Wings and stuff.
Yeah. Like the thing that goes up in the front and then like the flaps on
and
the
then
side.
it has the flaps and you can like put them up on the top.
Not fancy though.
No.
We were going for Oscars vibes.
Yeah. So yeah, he would need like a You know,
Why am I coughing?
air quality.
What?
Like the bowler hats, like the round ones with the
Yeah,
little.
yeah. Doesn't he have I think they had like a he had some people that saw some shadow people or something wearing the hat.
The hat man.
Ugh. Creepy. I'm still waiting for something like scary to happen in one of these stuff and things.
Why?
I don't know. Like catching
My lights flickering like they happen.
Yeah, or like catching an EVP or something. Oh, don't happen.
That happens to me all the time when I talk to England.
No.
Yeah, we get them all the time.
For reals?
Yeah.
The guy I talked to last night told a story about the house that he grew up in. Like he was fine in it, but everybody else didn't like his house. And he told this story about when he was little, his like sort of like god sister, like family friend, but was a sister, was over and they were playing. Close your ears. Did that just scare you?
Yeah.
That would have creeped me out if that would have just happened over there.
Really? I was just making faces at him because he was making faces at me.
Yeah. If we were talking about this spooky shit and all of a sudden a face came in the corner,
You
that would have
gotta realize though, I live with spookiness all the time.
Right. True.
So.
But this guy tells the story. Okay, so they had like one of those rocking horses, and like this deep man's voice says, "Get the fuck off the rocking horse." That's scary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you weren't scared living in the house? He's like, no. And I'm like, that would have literally wrecked me for life.
But when you're used to it, like,
ugh, no.
I know every once in a while you'll see like shadows go by on my wall or whatever, and it's not from the cars or anything because it'll be nighttime. Like, and I'm just like, okay, you know.
See, back when I was doing the creepy stuff back in the day, weird stuff like that did happen all the time. And so I associate it with very negative, scary shit. So I don't want any of that anywhere near me at all, ever.
I have so many protections on the property, the house, like physical ones, energetic ones, psychic ones, like
yeah.
I have stuff everywhere that it's not that I don't worry about it. I feel secure because I've built a fortress basically.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
I just
don't. I smudge all the time and
I'm always afraid of sort of talking about stuff at times because I'm like, don't call things to you.
You're afraid you're going to call things into existence?
Well, or just like, oh, look, she's paying attention. Yeah, she's paying attention again. Let's go fuck with her. You know? No, thank you. No, thank you. Please don't come fuck with me.
Your faith in your higher power is pretty strong.
100%. And that's kind of like what earlier when we were saying how like what you believe in, you only give, yeah, I think that you only give power to things like I've had people threaten that they were gonna like cast spells on me, and I'm just like, whatever. Like whatever, dude. But the interesting thing is every once in a while I'll have dreams that are clearly demonic. Like there will be a person in the dream that I know is evil, but nobody else knows. And like we have this moment, like we recognize each other, and the entire dream I will be like casting this demon out the entire dream, like saying the words, repeating them over and over in the dream, and they're always like really creepy. And you know how you can tell the difference between a normal scary dream and like next level scary dream?
Yes.
And so like I'll wake up and it'll freak me out for a few days. Like I'll be like nervous to go back to sleep because it's so like when you see something like legitimately evil, it's different than somebody who's just like a negative person or
Yes, it is much
like,
different.
yeah, when you're looking into that, you realize there's things that like you don't mess with, you know? I don't know. So I'm always like, people are supremely arrogant in that they think that they have rules that like they follow. No, they don't have to follow your rules.
No,
Just because you say like you're not allowed in my house, I'm not sure that they have to follow that rule.
it's a little more than that here, because I don't want to say everything,
Sure.
but you know, I very much believe that your ancestors, just because of the way that I see my worldview, says that your ancestors, like I said, I don't believe that we stop. I believe that we continue on.
Right.
And your ancestors can and do look out for you.
But totally. But
And so that can be part of it. And you just build a wall. And
but
then,
you know how like with people,
but you stay vigilant because things climb walls.
sure, sure. But you know how like people will say like, well, if I do the Ouija board and I just say blah 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 blah, like they don't really have to follow your playbook.
That's not how it works.
like that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like people that think like if they repeat this mantra, then they're good to go. And it's like, I don't know that our mantras really mean anything to an all-powerful, infinite being that doesn't have to play by our rules. Like,
Right. Which is why you have to get all powerful, infinite beings on your side.
yeah,
Basically.
right. It's
Which
just, it's
you
such
have,
a,
you
and then,
definitely
and
have
then
that.
you have to question, are they really on my side? Or are they getting something from me that makes it seem like they're on my side? But
Well,
they're not really on my side.
what, like the gods?
I'm not, no, I mean, there's entities that will present themselves as being on your side, but in all reality, they're actually really not.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people that think that they're cohorting with spirits that are on their side, but they're really not. They're keeping you separated from what you should be doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that's kind of what I mean, where like people think they know, but you don't really know because we're human beings.
And we're
We
fallible.
don't have the depth of knowledge that something that's on the other side, that's been on the other side since the beginning of time has, right?
Right. But
So we think we know, but we don't really know.
yeah, but you can't be 100% fatalistic, because if there's light for every dark and dark for every light. And if there's something out there like that that is not good, then there's something out there that is. I really
Sure,
think that I really,
theoretically.
well, nothing can exist in a vacuum. You know, like vacuums pull things toward it, and I think that the universe and everything seeks balance.
Sure.
So I would think that, yes, do I believe that there are things like that out there? Absolutely. But I also believe that there are other things out there, um, such as God or divinities or whatever, that do have our best interests at heart,
For sure. For
whether we
sure.
understand what that best interest might be or not.
Right. I just feel like there's some people that think they're dabbling in good things, but they're really not. And it's being presented in a way.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm talking about. I think
I
that
see.
and and the arrogance to think that you could control that being to do your bidding, or like, that's what gets me. It's like, if there's an all-powerful entity doing your bidding, what are they gaining from it? Because they're not doing it 9 times out of 10 out of the kindness of their heart. They're getting something from it.
Trick them, or you're stronger, or
something
getting something from you, or they're setting you up for something, or I see what you're saying.
Or keeping you from the path that you're supposed to be on. You know, I don't know. And see, now I'm like, the fact that I'm talking about this makes me go, okay, now they're going to come and fuck with me. They're not. But I always get like that because of what I went through back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was really not pleasant. So I'm always just like, leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some pretty ugly things. Ugly things like to hang out in war zones, you know?
Sure. I'm sure.
There's a lot there for them to feed off of, and I've seen some strange things. Yeah. So I get what you're talking about, and it's like you don't want to acknowledge them because you don't want them to look back at you.
Right.
So
well, and some people like will purposely open themselves up to the spirit world, not really understanding there's good and bad there. So you don't really know which one you're dealing with necessarily, because they can present themselves I mean, Satan was a beautiful angel.
Well, now that's a very interesting question, because how do we know that Satan didn't do God's will? That Lucifer didn't do exactly as he was supposed to be doing by causing the fall? Because look at everything that has happened since then. And if God is omnipotent, they'd have to know.
But you still, right, obviously.
I know there's a matter of free will.
Sure.
But do we know that, yes, Lucifer is there and he's ruling in hell or whatever, according to the Christian religion, and I believe Muslim religion, you know, the Abrahamic religions say that, you know, there's Satan and he's in hell and he was the angel Lucifer or whatever. Do we know that he was not meant to go down there to purify those souls that are in hell? Yes, they're tormenting them, and it's unending torment, right? But I don't believe anything's really unending. I feel like there's a graduation.
We don't have the answer. That's the thing. We don't know.
I feel like if there's something like that, there would be a graduation process from,
or that people that only the people that get there are ungraduatable. Right.
And so then still Lucifer is carrying out God's wishes because somebody has to keep them there.
Well, I don't think he keeps them there, though. He's not in control. He's paying the punishment for he's not there as like the king of hell. He's there as punishment just as much as the rest of them are.
So who's punishing them?
Well, ultimately, I suppose they punished themselves by being separated from God, because that's what hell is supposed to be, the separation from God. It's not that they're getting pitchforks jammed in them and whatever. Like,
you see, I don't believe in the Christian version of hell as it has been explained to me up to this point.
Yeah, and I don't know what's been explained to you, so.
Well, that's what I just explained, like that Satan is there. He was Lucifer, the light bringer,
right,
the most beautiful of the angels. He was jealous of mankind. And so he did not believe that men should be placed over the angels. So he was cast out and there was a war. And then he was sent to hell to, yes, his torment, which is separating him from God, but then he torments the souls that are there.
See, that's not necessarily
that's a simplified version.
Yeah, I don't think that's biblical. I don't think that's necessarily biblical.
So what exactly is it that?
So first of all, I'm not a biblical scholar.
I don't care about that. I care about what you believe.
So to me, my understanding is that hell itself is separation from God.
Okay.
And so that's the torment of it. So I think people have this perception that Satan is like Hades, right? Where Hades is the ruler of the underworld, whatever.
Right.
And my understanding is that Satan is not the ruler of anything. He's being punished. That's his punishment, is being there. And his whole purpose is to basically get back at God by separating God's creation from him, just like he's separated.
How then, if he's in hell being punished, how is he able to tempt humans into falling into?
Because
that?
I don't think I think that it's not the final end of it. So it's like and I think that has to do with like Armageddon and all that stuff, where the final it's like
So
this
he's not like stuck in the underworld.
No, I don't think so. I mean, because and again in the Bible it says what is the phrasing? My brain is like beware the devil as he seeks to. What is this? It's going to drive me nuts. Usually I have this phrase at the top of my head. Hold on a second. I gotta look it up now. I usually have this literally on the tip of my tongue.
Okay, I find this fascinating to understand what other people believe and why they believe it.
Sure, me too. All right, hold on. Let me find this because I want to make sure I'm saying it properly.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like challenging you. I just
no.
Okay.
And see, this is the thing. Like I love having these kind of conversations because to me it's a conversation. What exactly. I don't, the only time it gets irritating to me is when someone's purposely trying to like be like you're stupid or whatever.
No, not at all.
Okay, so the phrase is be sober and vigilant because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. So my understanding, and I could be completely wrong, but my understanding is that Satan, demons, whatever, are walking the earth looking for who can I separate from God.
Wouldn't that make earth hell then?
Walking hell on earth, yeah. I mean, and then the final torment or whatever doesn't come until whatever battle happened later. I don't know how it works.
But okay, so can people be redeemed up until then? Like once they're in hell, can they be redeemed?
I think that you only go to hell if you are not capable of being redeemed. Like that's my understanding of it. Like I don't think that God sits around going, I just want to throw these people away. Oh, that person was nasty. I don't care about them anymore. I'm going to throw them in the pit of hell. That person did X, Y, Z. They're out. I don't think God looks at human beings like that. I think God looks at people the way we look at our children, where it doesn't matter what your child does, you will do anything to protect them and keep them safe and to want them to make right choices. That's how I believe God views human beings. I don't think he looks at people looking for an excuse to kick your ass out. Like, I don't feel that. You don't treat your...
Like you.
Huh?
I wish every Christian was like you.
But that's biblical. Like, God doesn't look... He's not sitting around going, you looked at me funny, you're out. Like,
but in church, like, in organized religions, and this is why I really disagree with organized religion to a great extent. If it works for people, it works for people, but it doesn't work for me. Because I cannot imagine that a loving God would throw people away.
And see, I don't think that that's biblical to do that. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I can't imagine.
and like the
Organized
thing,
religion, they say, it's like, oh, a lot of religions believe in the 144,000 people or whatever, and the rapture and all of this. And if you're not one of ours, then, you are wrong and you're going to hell, and
right,
only what one guy said as a prophet is the right way. You know what I mean? Like, I just
right.
with that.
Well, and this is my thinking about this. So none of us know. This is what I was talking about earlier. None of us know.
Yeah.
And none of us, that's why I say we can't think that our rules that we set in place, somebody else has to follow. So just because I say, hey, demons, you're not allowed in my house, why do they got to follow my rules?
Okay.
Or whatever, or random spirit, whoever you want to say. It's kind of like, that's why I think it becomes this human arrogance to think that you know the mind of God, like, or the mind of a spirit, or the mind of whatever wood nymph, we don't know, Bigfoot, we don't know. And so to be arrogant enough to think that you know how it all works, that's what gets me about certain things. So like for me, okay, assuming that I believe in the Bible, okay, assume that. When Jesus comes back and says, I didn't come here to judge, then who the fuck am I to do it?
Right.
So to me, whether or not you're getting into heaven or not is not for me to judge. And I don't know the rule book. I don't know the barometer that God uses. I don't know the checklist he has. So I'm not going to look at somebody and say, that person's going to hell. That person's not going to hell. That person's going to go to hell. That person's going to go to hell. And this is exactly how it's going to happen. And this is what goes on in hell. And Satan does this and the demons do that and the people do this. No, but none of us know. We don't know. None of us know how any of this work. Is hell metaphoric? Is it an ethereal idea? Are demons an ethereal idea? Are they physical beings? Are they manifestations of spirit? None of us know. We have no way of knowing any of this. So to me, I believe because of my own personal experience. I know what I went through. I know who I was before, and I know who I was after. And I know what I had to go through to get from point A to point Z, and how it continues to evolve on a daily basis. Right. So I believe what I believe. You believe what you believe. I can tell you what I believe and why I believe it. Mm-hmm. But I would never say to somebody, you're going to go to hell because you don't think exactly like I think, because I don't know that. I don't know what God says to you in the quiet moments when you're sitting in your house or on your deathbed, or in those last moments when you're in this ethereal realm between here and there. We don't know. And so I can't deal with human arrogance. Like, that's what gets me. When people think they know things in absolutes, and they don't, because there's no way we can. There's no way we can know absolutely anything. So again, I believe what I believe because of my personal experiences. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that drives me kind of nuts, is when people think they have all the answers and they know definitively this, that, and the other. Or when they'll tell me, well, you're wrong. You don't know I'm wrong. You don't know I'm wrong any more than I know that you're wrong. So why are you telling me? You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like I believe what I believe. And
I think we agree on that. Like, it's the height of arrogance to think that we could know something that's so unknowable.
Right. You know what you know for your life and what works for you. Yeah. So to say, like, the things that you do to protect yourself wouldn't work for me. And the things that I do to protect myself, they don't work for you, because we're not on the same path, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So And even people on the same path have different ways of doing things that don't work for each other. Some people get up in the morning every day and get on their knees and pray before they do anything. I talk to God throughout the whole day.
Same.
So you know what I mean? So I just, people are so arrogant, and then there's the people too that are just like, all of it's garbage, like everything, there's none of this is real. You guys are praying to like an imaginary ghost in the sky, and like none of this stuff that you do it's all in your head. Everything's in your head. You're just making this up, and you're allowed to believe that, but you can't tell other people that they are, what they experience isn't real, and it's all just in their head, because I can point to things that I can tell you that weren't not in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me otherwise. You weren't
Right.
there. Just like experiences that you've had.
Right.
Nobody can tell you that they didn't happen. They weren't there.
Right.
So it's really easy for people to get real high and mighty about things that they didn't experience and they didn't go through personally and they don't know about or whatever. So, and again, and like with the whole religion thing, there's so many different interpretations. There's so many different styles of how people teach it. There's so many different like perceptions that people have based on things that aren't even in the Bible, which is the thing, if you're a Christian, that you're supposed to be following, but they've been misinterpreted and interpreted weirdly and like taken literal sometimes when it wasn't intended to be taken literal. And so there's a whole lot of stuff in there. And that's why, I mean, every church that I've ever personally gone to, they've always said, read your Bible for yourself and pray about it for yourself. Don't let somebody else tell you what it means, because everything is skewed from your personal angle. So if you're, say, a guy who hates gay people for whatever reason, you're going to interpret scripture different from somebody who doesn't have that predisposed whatever. Just like if you're against anything or for anything, you can find little things in there to justify. And it's the same in what you follow. You could find things to justify why you think X,
Absolutely
Y, Z.
anything. Yeah.
Everybody can, you can look to justify your beliefs till the cows come home. So yeah, I get real irritated with people who think they know everything or think that everyone else is wrong with them.
I think the most important thing to do is try and be a decent human being.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, like I know what I experienced. And I know what I experienced. That's all I can say. I know what was real to me. It's very real to me. It's still real to me. That's all I can say about it. And by the way, Bowie there in the background, every once in a while I look and it literally looks like there's a dude standing behind you. It keeps like startling me, like, oh, who's that?
Sorry.
It's cracking me up because I'm like, oh, there's someone there, and they're like, oh yeah, it's Bowie.
Yeah, I wish. That was a beautiful.
Although if he was suddenly there, that might be a little peculiar.
A little peculiar. I would hope that he'd go see his wife first, but
right.
He's welcome anytime.
Sure. That reminds me of the I know I've told you this before, but that one time when I was sleeping and I felt somebody go like this to my forehead, and I woke up, like it woke me up, and I saw this big tall guy with long black hair walk out of the room. Yeah. I did. I felt a fingertip go like this. Oh. And then I opened my eyes and big tall black haired dude walked out of the room.
It was Sasquatch.
I don't know what it was. He was touching my forehead.
Yeah.
It's Roman. Roman stopped by for a visit.
Or Mick.
Aww, Mick. Oh, people don't know about him yet.
No, he's a sweetie.
Yeah. Ooh. I'm like, what would he smell like?
car parts.
I know, that's what I think too, but it doesn't make logical sense. But that's the first thing I thought. It doesn't make logical sense
Sounds like
though.
a mechanic.
But why?
I don't know.
It makes no sense.
He just does.
How
But
could
like,
he?
not necessarily a dirty mechanic. Like, he probably
Yeah.
smells like Irish Spring and car parts, like carburetor.
But why? Guitars don't have a smell.
I know, he just does.
Amps?
No, none of it uses the oil smell
That
that I'm.
doesn't make any sense. But that doesn't make any sense.
But it's a clean smell too.
But that's the first thing I thought too, was that he would smell like oil.
Yeah.
How weird.
That is weird.
I don't even think he owns a car.
I don't think so either. Maybe because he's on the tour bus so much.
Oh, okay, that makes
He's
sense.
constantly touring.
He smells like diesel
Yeah.
and cigarette smoke.
Diesel, cigarette smokes, and
Smoke machine, fog machine. Aww.
Yeah. But good. He still
Yeah.
smells good.
Yeah.
Like all
And
the
leather.
Yeah.
Does denim have a smell?
Does who?
Does denim have a smell?
Kinda. It smells like cotton.
Yeah.
Linen.
Black.
Black.
The
one. Sorry.
I know. Well, I know. I said it twice, and then I'm like, I better keep going.
Yeah.
Finish it out. How funny. Well, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. I think I'm getting punchy.
I know. Well, we've been on. Let's see. We've been on here a while.
3 hours.
Only. Yeah, it's late
I could do
there.
this for 6 more if I wasn't sleeping.
I know.
It
should
is.
get out. I'm all hot and sweaty too.
I have that effect.
I'm moist.
I have that effect too, baby.
Oy vey.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
You're glowing, you're glistening.
I'm hot. It's hot here.
Well,
90, 93 today, something like that.
Already?
It was over 100 the other day.
Good Lord.
Mike said when he came home Thursday, it was 103.
Why do you live somewhere that the air hurts your skin?
Masochist? I don't know. We both hate the sun.
So I'm like, why? But why though? What?
So so this is what happened. This is what had happened. Mike lived here, right? I lived in Ohio.
Right.
I came out here to meet him.
Right.
I had such an amazing time here.
That you never left.
No. So we had I had a really good time. I was here with him. So the first time I think I came for 3 weeks, I want to say. And then I came back, I think, and lived at his parents' house for a while with them for a couple months. And then I went back home, and then Mike moved back to Ohio like maybe 6 months later. And so we lived in Ohio like when we did all that touring and everything, because it was just a smarter place to live for travel purposes. And then 1999, we worked at this film and music distributor, and we both got let go on the exact same day. And because that was when people quit buying CDs, so they had to let go like 50% of the staff. And so we came home, and on the way home decided we were moving back to Arizona. And we started packing, and like a few months later we moved here. And so we had it in our head that it was going to be the same place it was when we were there last. And it had changed, and things weren't the same. And now we're here, and our house is almost paid off, and we have jobs that we really can't leave. And, our son lives here, and this is where he's grown up, and we don't want to take him out of school. So we live in the desert.
I get it.
We live in the sunny desert that's over 100 degrees, like almost 200 days of the year. It's fantastic.
I grew up out that area, so.
Yeah. How hot does it get in Wyoming?
Well, I grew up in Utah also, and it gets up over
Okay.
100 in Utah as
Yeah,
well.
it's hot there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know. And it's like sunny all the time.
Freaking dry.
Yeah.
So dry. And that wasn't
Yeah.
good for my skin either.
Yes, and then as soon as the humidity starts going up for the monsoon season, people are always like, "Oh, it's a dry heat." It's like, first of all, even if it's not a dry heat, 110 degrees is 110 degrees. Slap on like 45% humidity, and maybe it's not like the humidity like you guys get in Florida, but tack that onto 110 degrees and tell me how it feels.
Yeah.
It's not fun. I'm hot.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we call it a night then?
We
so you
should.
can some ice cubes.
I feel like I'm gonna go take a cold shower and then
I'm gonna go wash my face and go to bed.
yeah, right. Oh yeah, we gotta
I
wash
can't
this
sleep
crap.
like this. I'll mess up my
No.
pillows.
Plus it's not good for your skin.
Also that.
Yeah. It's been so
But
fun
mostly my
talking to you.
pillowcases. It's been good talking to you too.
I know, this was a fun one.
It was a fun one.
Yeah.
I hope that people are entertained.
Are you not entertained? If anybody makes it this long,
Yeah, you gotta leave that quote as a comment.
yeah.
Are you not entertained? Tell us what movie
Aw.
it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll chat tomorrow.
Yes. And
I'm not gonna upload this tonight probably. I'll probably wait till tomorrow.
Okay. And we'll be unveiling our new stuff soon.
Like super soon.
Super soon, like next week soon.
Yeah. I'm so excited. All right, cool. Yay!
All right. Ah, I know.
All right.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Talk to you later. Bye. Sweet dreams.
Good night, sweetie.
Bye.